Well, we can't let our dogs out at night. Last time we did that, they grabbed a possum out of its hole back there, and both of them worked together. And I talked about this last night, Hazel. They both worked together to team tag this damn thing, yanked it out of its own hole, and just shook it to death. They played tug of war with the damn thing until it died.
That's awesome.
I was there. Once that instinct kicks in with dogs, you're not jumping in there. And then you got a possum with sharp teeth too, snapping.
Yeah.
And I mean, this possum was a mama. It was a big possum. So.
I wish I would have recorded that. I wish I would have screen capped that.
We have all kinds of nighttime critters back there, so we don't trust our pets out there at night. During the daytime, we'll let them out there. We'll sit on the porch and read a book or something while they're messing around.
I mean,
but during the night, can't do it. They get instinctive.
You have alligators.
Yeah, we don't have them in our backyard though.
Dude, the place I stayed at, I don't know how legit this was, but when we were in Orlando, and the Airbnb in Orlando had like a screened in kind of backyard porch area, and it had a sign that said, please do not approach the pond alligator.
Yeah. There's an alligator.
And I was like, we're in the middle of Orlando and this is a neighborhood.
Anything that has we don't have ponds. We have retention ponds, retention areas.
That's kind of what this was.
Because
that's what it looked like.
When it rains, everything in a neighborhood now has to wash into the storm drains are tied strictly to a reservoir. They don't go into the sewer system. They don't overload the sewer system anymore. So it's code now that every neighborhood that's built, especially the new neighborhoods, have to set aside so much land to hold all this water during storms.
Right.
And that's where the alligators come in. They'll just migrate over from a lake or somewhere, lay some eggs, and then you got a resident alligator there. And usually there's one or two alligators that survive, and they end up taking people's pets. You can't you can't have little dogs running around if you have a dog that's smaller than a beagle, then you need to watch that dog if it goes around, because the alligators will sit there right on the edge just with their nose, and as a dog runs by, they'll just grab it and suck it in the water. You'll never see it again.
Remember what that airboat guy had said that someone was asking what happens if or he was because that river that we were on all went through farmland.
That wasn't a river. That was like a marsh.
I mean, whatever. I mean, but the guy, it ran through people's farms, and remember that boat driver was saying that people would ask, they would see alligator pop up and get the cows or the calves.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, do something. And he's like, what do you want me to do? That's...
You can try to run them over with a boat, but I don't think it's going to deter them.
That's a city person right there.
You get You get 12-foot alligator.
Wasn't there people out there hunting alligator when we were out there?
See, they have alligator season here now to keep them under control. You can buy, it's like everything. You buy tags.
Yeah.
You can tag it. If you kill an alligator, you sure as hell better have a tag on it. And you also better be doing it during the season. Because you can get majorly fined. You can go to jail if you are illegally poaching alligators.
Yeah.
So
it's about like anywhere.
They're kind of protected here, but there's plenty of them, man. You can spit anywhere in any direction and you'll find an alligator. Anywhere there's a retention pond. Yeah.
We saw a few out there. That was kind of my thing, is I just wanted to see an alligator when we were out in the wild, and I mean, we did.
I was at my dad's.
He's going to show you his backyard and go like, yeah.
No. I went to my parents' yard. I went to my parents' house for Father's Day, and I'll show you I'll show you the video I got. This little guy right here was about a 10-footer. Oh, I don't want to delete it. I want to share it. I'm going to put it in the... nope. I'm going to put it
If you hold your phone close enough to the computer screen, Todd, it'll airdrop it to me.
I don't think so. I don't think I'll do that.
You press Alt F4.
There's no Alt F4 on this phone.
Guardian down.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for listening to us today. Welcome to episode 101 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe, and we interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. We're the show that loves that you listen on that daily commute. I'm your host, the Gatr, and my co-host, Mr. Hazelnut, is here as well. Hey, man. How you been this week?
I've been sweating my balls off, man.
Yeah, explain.
So it's about that yearly time for any consistent listener for the AC to go out here in the good old Hazelnut residence. So, yeah. So, of course, it picks like the hottest time of year for that shit to happen. So, yeah. So the AC has gone out. Apparently, we have a couple of leaks in our coil. So we had to get that shit fixed, and we're still waiting for it to get fixed. So, yeah. So right now, we're enjoying that fan life. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the moment. And, yeah, it's lovely. We have a live audience just for anybody listening here. We've got my wife sitting in the back, probably passed out. We have the Beagle down here as well. So, yeah, there we go.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. What about you, man?
It's, 2 weeks ago, I'd tell you that it's a desert in Florida. It was 98 degrees, no rain. We haven't had rain for 3 months. In the last 2 weeks, we've had rain every afternoon. In fact, I came home early from work today because I couldn't work. It was raining. It was already raining. 12 o'clock. It's already raining outside. So I was like, you know what? We need the rain. We're in a major shortage right now. So I'm grateful for the rain, but I know we're going to have some slight hurricane scares, I'm sure. Come August, September, we always do, usually around the time Destiny releases content. And usually my power goes out for a week and I don't get to enjoy it like everyone else. I just count on that every year now. But yeah, it's been a good week overall, helping my son out, helping him get settled in. He's trying to get a job. He's trying to find his fit here. And it's been a little crazy at first, but I think things will settle down here soon. But this week, though, we're bringing back a show favorite. He's from the great state of Kansas. It's Mr. AgentAech. How you been doing, Mr. H?
About the same as everyone. Just sweating my balls off because it's been triple-digit weather about every day for a week. It's been exciting. Dodging thunderstorms currently this evening. I've got the radar pulled up, and yeah, it's been a little fun tonight. So,
yeah, you were saying that before the show. Yeah,
dude, the temp. So that's what I wanted to wait to say. So the temperature, like it was crazy. So before the first storm rolled in, it was like 97, 98 degrees, and then within a span of 45 minutes, it dropped to 68, and then went back up to 88.
Really, that quickly?
Yeah. Yep,
that's absurd. So,
are you guys in drought right now? Pretty bad drought. Or is it?
I mean, not too
normal?
bad. I mean, the thunderstorms are kind of popping up. I mean, it's June's usually prime storm season, and then July a little bit. August is really when it's just miserable. It's hot. It's dry. It's shitty.
Yeah, like Florida. Same. I mean, all thumbs. He lives up in Washington State on the West Coast. Just in case Hazel didn't know where that was, and
I know geography. You're the one that doesn't.
And he said it was 102 or 98 or something, and they're in drought. They haven't had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of Washington State not having a rain problem.
Well, Panda from the Potato Thumbs Discord, he said that he was showing triple digit temps up there, and he said most people up there. I don't know if he was serious, but he said most people up there don't have AC.
No, they usually don't.
Because because he had complained. He's like, whoever sent this to us, like, stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I think it's El Nino. El Nino, I think all the heat areas, I think, if I remember correctly, they said that the Northwest was going to be hotter than normal this year. So maybe the weather guys finally got something right. I don't know. Hey guys, just a quick overview of tonight's show. First, we're going to catch up with Mr. H here. We haven't seen him in a while. We'll see how things and how life's treating him, and what we've been playing, what we've been watching. To kind of just a general quick catch up, and then Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for the 7th week of Season of the Splicer, and finally we're going to answer questions from our community. And Hazel, we're maxed out again, dude. We can't pin any more questions, so we got to get through some questions tonight. I'm sure H will help us out, and of course, we can't finish the show without adding 2 songs to our award-winning Guardian Town Cast Show playlist on Spotify and iTunes. All right, boys, let's do this. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. You can find us on Twitter @Guardian_D_cast.
Or, you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_down_cast and see what picks our weekly guests want to share with you.
Or Hazel, just visit our website at guardiandowncast.com for all the contact information and where else you want to find us. And you can also play any past episodes you like in any order you like, right from your browser.
Don't you or me, man. Anyway, so hey, Guardians, check us out, and later, Guardians.
Toddles.
Hey, that's my line, man.
So, Mr. H, how you been, man? I mean, it's I think you were on last show. You were on in your first of the year. You're one of our first guests of 2021. You did get 34 on the speed run. Very admirable. You did very well. Unfortunately, we had someone else that came in here and just blew everybody away. I don't know if anybody's going to beat Startian, but how you been, man? Life treating you good? I know you said you got a new job. You got a kind of a new situation now.
Life is great right now. I really can't complain. So I started a new job in November. So I think when I was on the show last, I was working overnights, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, since then I switched, and that's when I was commuting. So I was driving 90 miles one way to work. Since then I work locally now. I did get a transfer. So with the same company. I'm still with Walmart. Just transferred from the store I was at to the store that is here locally.
Nice.
And
You liking that store?
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. It's great. And my schedule varies. So I will say that my quality of life since I've came back to not just this store, but the job in general, I've seen, especially so the last 2 months, just for some perspective, I've seen more of my kids' softball in the last 2 months that I've seen in the 5 years.
That's important.
That Tammy and I have been around. I've gone on. I'm home at night. You know what I mean? Like I see my family every evening. I get to do more with my family. I get more time for my hobbies. So, gaming, cycling, disc golf, stuff like that. So life's great. I mean, I really can't complain.
Nice.
Good deal, man. It's good to hear.
It's so awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. All right, sir. Well, what you been up to besides that? Like you said, disc golf. Any other hobbies or anything? Like how you been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, so cycling. I've got more time to get on the bike. So I had posted in you guys' resolution Discord that I had signed up for a bicycle race.
Yeah,
that race passed. I did not participate. So reason being is when I took the job, unfortunately, that left me the commute and working overnights and having to sleep during the day left me zero time to train. And I'm not going to ride 120 miles with zero training. That's just not smart. So I did not participate in the race, but, like I said, I've been back on the bike more. I don't know. I think I've got a couple 100 miles in the last month or so. So not as much as I would like, but it's still more than I had put in previously. But other than that, man, just, watching my summer has been a lot of my daughter's softball, to which they're doing great. And then, playing disc golf when I can. I do league when I can. I get on the bicycle when I can, and then mix in a little video games in between.
You still doing the Peloton?
No.
Okay.
So that was kind of a perk of my old job.
Oh. Okay.
So my previous boss was he was generous. He had the Peloton app. He had the Peloton bike, but with the app, you can actually have 6 people, I think 5 or 6 under you that can have access to your account.
I like that.
And so I was one of the 5 or 6 that was under him, and so I just used a spin bike like that I have in my garage, and then I would play the spin classes on my iPad. So the cool thing with that, and I do plan on getting a Peloton bike. I'm going to kind of wait for everything to slow down because people are ordering them, and I guess it's taking like 6 to 8 months to get them.
Right.
So eventually I'll get one probably this winter, but that is another service that I can say nothing but good things about. It's pretty great.
Well, I did want to mention too, for our listeners who maybe didn't hear you originally long ago, that you were on one of our first bunch of episodes when we first started this long ago. And I'm going to start putting the show links, the actual podcast links, if you want to hear Mr. AgentAech's story here. So you can go right to it and not have to search for it, because we don't exactly title things where they're easy to pick up who's on the show all the time. So we'll be doing that from now on, especially when we have some of our favorite guests back. We'll put that back in there. So
hey, H, just a quick question for you. When's the next event that you're training for?
Not sure. Next race here locally is next April. And that is another, like, that one is still a goal. That one actually goes, like I said, it's about 120 miles. It's a 200K race, and it goes through a lot of private farmland. But there's several races. Like, I think there's one about 50 miles north of me that takes place in July that I think is kind of a short one. It's like a 50 or 60 miles that I may sign. And that one's more like I think it's called like Bikes and Brews. It's more of like a beer event, like a craft beer event.
Right.
So I might try to sign up for that one. But there's definitely the one that is held locally, and then there's another with a big race that's in Kansas, the Dirty Kansas, I believe, is a 200-mile race. So that would be the kind of the ultimate that I want to sign up for.
Nice, man. Well, anything we can do to help, let us know.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And just get me on the bike more. That's all it takes is just getting on the bike more. You just got to put in the work and put in the training. That's about it.
Bike riding a bike is not my favorite form, because for some reason my body was not made to fit a bike correctly. Because I rode 30 miles one time with my wife, and I literally, even with bike shorts on, I literally could not walk after that 30-minute ride.
It takes a while, right? It's one of those things that you just get used to it. So yeah. I will say this, that the 6 months I spent at the other job, I didn't ride my bike at all. I didn't ride the stationary bike. I hardly had, because when you work overnights and then you drive 3 miles a day for work,
right,
or 3 hours a day for work, you
want to work
have
out.
Zero motivation to do anything.
Yeah.
But so that first ride, when I was back here in town and I got on the bike and I was riding, my body, like, physically, I could ride for several, like, I could have went 10, 20 more miles. My rear end could not go any more than I did, because I was not used to sitting in that seat. And that's with padded shorts. And it's just something that you just get used to. I mean,
yeah, it's like everything else, I guess. I mean, my wife's going tomorrow with a girlfriend of hers. They go usually about 40, 50 miles round trip. And, yep, she's heading out tomorrow morning to do that. And we have a lot of bike trails around us. All around the suburbs here, they built up a lot of bike trails that go right through neighborhoods or right around neighborhoods or in deep woods and stuff. It's really cool. A lot of neat places to venture out. I'm sure everyone has that too, but she's been taking advantage of that. Now that she has time off from teaching. But well, let me ask you this. We had a question that Hazel added to our signature questions, and I wanted to pose it to you as well. And the question was, why gaming?
I thought about that when you guys asked it last week. And at first I was like, I don't know, it's just a hobby, right? But the more I thought about it is, you read a book for a good story, but I think, playing a game, you're playing that story, right? And sometimes it's just something to kind of get lost in and be, you could still get lost in a book, or you can get lost in a movie. You get lost in that world, but with the gaming, you're participating, right? So
you're interacting.
Yeah. So I think it's a little bit of that. But yeah, it's just something and it's also a way for me to communicate with old friends. I do a lot of I mean, most of my gaming is online, whether it's co-op or PvP, and it's, like me and, I was, like, you guys were messaging me about, you guys were ready for me. I was, playing that new game, Dark Alliance, that Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay. I heard about it.
I was playing that with two of my old friends, like two old high school buddies.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
It was just something that, it's on Game Pass. They're both on Xbox. I'm on PC, but it's available on Game Pass, and we all downloaded it, and we gave it a try, and we're just kind of having fun, just shooting the shit and having a good time.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about that. We were walking this morning, and that question came up, and I said, well, honey, I would be, I'd probably be drag racing on Friday nights and hungover and on the weekend and stuff. That'd probably be what I'd be. But honestly, those days are kind of gone for me because I don't really want to spend that kind of money and that kind of stuff anymore. But I'd probably just be watching more TV. And the thing about TV is it's not interactive. You're not having to use your brain to tap back into what you're not participating. You're literally brain dead, just sitting there watching images flash on a screen. And, at least with gaming, it's kind of like you're watching a show and you're involved in it and you're enveloped into it. And that's the difference for me. I mean, I've been catching up on a lot of TV lately. I haven't been playing a lot of Destiny the last few days. And I can tell, man, because my brain has not been stimulated. I haven't been playing any Crucible. I haven't been I don't do strikes, but, Hazel and I, we jumped in and ran a sped run some of the new expunge missions to get the triumphs for that. Shout out to you, Hazel. And we ran the latest story for this week and all that. So let me transition here.
Well, real quick.
Okay, go ahead. No. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to ask. I mean, so besides Dark Alliance, what else are you playing?
I mean, really the same things. Like I've actually been playing this season of Destiny. I think I'm battle per season pass rank 60.
You're only a little bit behind Hazel.
And then Apex Legends, still going pretty hard at Apex Legends. I think I'm actually higher in the season pass in Destiny than I am Apex.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then we started Dark Alliance just the last couple days, and then there's a couple other games that are coming to Game Pass day one that I'm looking forward to that I'll dive into a little later when we talk gaming. But I mean that's really, I mean, it's been Destiny and Apex, up until honestly tonight. Like Dark Alliance was the most I've played. It was tonight, so it's fun.
Nice.
How about you, Hazel? Are you still playing just Destiny, or are you playing anything else too? I'm just curious. While we're going around here.
I am gaming promiscuous. So I'm pretty much logging in, playing Destiny on Tuesdays, and then I'm running the story, the expunge, and that, and then I'm pretty much out of Destiny until next Tuesday.
I have to admit, man, I've been doing the same thing. I rerun the stories on Tuesdays, and thank God Iron Banner next week, but it's kind of the same thing.
I don't know. I just don't feel the need to play as much as I did before.
Well, we don't have a light level climb this season. It's only 10, so it's not as urgent. And, I think you need to be at I think they said you need to be at, was it 150 or something on the season pass to get the light level enough to do the Grandmasters, which I know some of our guys in our Discord are doing some Grandmasters. I've been seeing the chatter. Yeah. I just can't get in. I just can't get motivated to do a Grandmaster. For me, the reward's not really strong enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that they need to put the, what is it, the reward for the Lost Sector, like the exotic rewards? Do you think they need to put that in the Grandmasters?
The problem is probably only, I'm guessing 5 to 10% of the people that play this game run Grandmasters. It's probably about the same as a Raider. Raid's about 10%, usually 10% of the population.
I think it's even less.
It's probably because it's very highlight level. It's very modified. I mean, you really have to create a build just for Grandmasters to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many champions.
I've tried one, so I don't.
I tried one time, and it's just so punishing if you don't get very far. And it reminds me of Trials, where you can play a whole weekend of Trials and not get much out of it if you don't get through the beginning to the end of it,
Is it just the regular Nightfalls that have the weapon drops? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Nightfalls have the weapon specific drops, and they were on a rotation every week. But if you do the Grandmasters, you can get the Adept versions, which have an extra perk.
Okay.
And that does sound cool, but I'll be honest, I'm getting plenty of kills with non-Adept weapons than I do Adept.
Well, that's my question is, I mean, I guess that's the reason why I don't do that. Why I don't do them, because to me, it's not like the end all be all. Like the plug one this week doesn't seem to be like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever.
So I got the plug one on my first Nightfall run. So shout out to Marky Mark and Ghost.
Oh, nice.
For dude, it was a hard carry because my light level, when we ran it, my light level was shit. But I believe that night I was the only one that got it.
All night?
And I don't. No, we ran it one time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we ran it once, and I got it my first run, and then we all left. I think Mark cursed me before he signed out that night. But I mean, I haven't really used it. I mean, and I loved fusions. I don't know what the meta, like, I don't know what the go-to fusion is right now, because my go-to fusion was a Wizened Rebuke, and is that one of the ones that got sunset? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been sunset.
I don't know.
It wasn't.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it has been.
I only used it in Crucible, so it's not like it would matter if it got sunset or not if I'm just playing Crucible, but I still, I mean, I don't use it.
If you're playing Iron Banner or Trials, you need to have, higher light weapons to compensate. But I tell you what, I've been using as a if I'm not using Telesto in the Crucible, I've been using this Zealot's Reward. It's not a very high impact, but it's a very high what's the word? Charge time. It's only a 540 millisecond charge time. I like these as long as they guarantee me the kills when the shotgunners are sliding toward me. Because if you use like a Wizened Rebuke, the wind-up time it's a high impact fusion, but the problem is the wind-up time is so long on it. It's like the Oriental. They take so much time, and if you can get off the shot, it's almost guaranteed because the impact's so great on it. But there's so many Felwinter's Lies still out there and running around the Crucible. And it's just hard to combat that without a fast firing. And figure they're really close up on you by the time they get to you and you charge it up to kill them. So impact's not so important then because you're not going to have much pellet spread at that close range. It's been working great for me. I've been using that in Crucible, and then of course I go to my good old reliable Telesto whenever I want to just troll on people, especially if I'm getting shotgunned a lot. I'll just put that out and start spreading bolts on the ground and let them kill themselves as they slide.
Yeah.
But plug one, I know True Vanguard has publicly stated he's killing a lot of people with it. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. I'm not a big strike guy anyway because the strikes are just so boring to me and so repetitive. It's hard for me to get motivated.
Repetitive is right.
And, and if the drop rates aren't guaranteed, it's all RNG. So that throws another wrinkle in. If people only have so much time they want to dedicate to it, it's just another wrinkle that makes things a little, I don't know, a little more less rewarding. I'm talking and rambling on here. You guys have something to add?
It just seems, I mean, it just seems like defeating, I think. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem worth it either, Like the quote from one of my favorite movies is, is the juice worth the squeeze? And, is the time worth the effort? Is the effort worth the time? And it's like, well, I don't know.
I think my issue with strikes right now is, so last time I was on, I had mentioned that the grind is kind of what kept me away because they make you do what they want you to do. Right. You don't get to do what you want. So my suggestion was, why are you capping, your pinnacle drop at 3 Crucible matches? Why not make it like 3, 5, 7, 10, 20?
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
I remember that.
So I'm doing my, and in that, like, I've been very happy with how, because it took me a long time to level up. Like, a lot of the Potato Thumbs guys ran me through my first Deep Stone's Crypt this season, and I was, I think, 12, 17. So it took me a long time to get, like, I think I'm at 1,300 now, and it's gone quick. And I've just done like, hey, here's your 3 strikes, your 3 Crucible matches, whatever. But so this week I did my 3 strikes, or I think it was last week. I haven't done my 3 strikes this week. But they gave me the same strike 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
And then you're off to the races, by the way, because everyone in front of you's run it a million times. And even though
I don't give a shit about that. I want to get them over with because I fucking hate them. Like, strikes are stupid.
I know.
I want to get them over with.
Yeah.
But, like, seriously, give me, like, 3 times in a row without going to orbit. I played the same strike. And it's just, why?
I've got 3 shadow prices, and I haven't used them yet. I had to go through Nightfalls to get all those. Because they're not that great a weapon. I've got better options. Here's the thing, and see, tell me if you agree, Jared. I'll beep that out.
Don't beep it. I don't care.
Okay. Why don't they just let us play? Just let everything be RNG. Why do we have to go to Crucible to get the plug 1? Crucible, damn it. Why do we have to play a Nightfall or a GM to get a plug 1? Why can't we just? Why can't it just drop out of the doing anything?
I don't care about that and I'll tell you why. Because I mean, you guys know him, Jay, my buddy Jay. He's been grinding strikes to get the Nightfall strikes to get hung jury. So maybe this kind of proves your point a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he's been running those Nightfalls because he really wants hung jury, and I think he's at like 40 runs maybe, and has not gotten it to drop yet.
That's insane, dude.
But my thing is like, I guess to that, I don't mind so much the RNG, but make it. I mean, increase those chances, I guess, if you're running the same thing over and over and over to get like a certain drop. Like, I guess maybe make those God roll type rolls, make those RNG. But like, if you have a guy that's specifically running a certain event to get a certain item, increase those percentages every time that person's running that.
Dude, you should never have to run 40 GD strikes, whatever, Nightfalls to get one, not even get one drop.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten it to drop yet, as far as I know. Last time I talked to him, I don't think he's gotten it.
See, now how does that motivate me to want to go do it?
He's gotten them, though. He's gotten some, it sounds like, just not the roll that he's wanting.
Don't think he's got one. Last I knew, he did not have a single hung jury.
See, you hear that? Yeah.
Last I knew. I could be wrong. Lord knows I've been wrong several times, but at last I knew, he had not gotten a single hung jury out of running those Nightfalls.
See, I hear that. That does not motivate me to want to go try to get one.
Right?
They need to.
It's not even that good, though. That's my thing. You know, like anybody who plays it, I don't see any out in the wild.
I'm not getting killed by them in Crucible very often. It's the same old stuff. It's the damn 120 hand cannons, and Fellwinter's Lies, man. I have to. Everyone goes back to that default setup.
So here, if we're going to switch gears to Crucible a little bit, so I've only been playing. So everyone that's listened to me on the show knows that I've been an Xbox guy forever, and I have since my Xbox isn't even hooked up right now. Just to tell you that, like, it is sitting there collecting dust over in the corner. I've been all PC, and so I mean I agree with you on the 120 hand cannons, but is the meta still the same? Because hand cannons is not the meta on console, right?
It's 120 hand cannons are still very powerful in the Crucible right now.
They're
even on like PlayStation.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what platform you play on. If you go play Iron Banner next week, I guarantee you, you're steady hands. And
I don't play Iron Banner next week.
Well, I do because you know why I do. It's not because of the weapons, not because of the pinnacles.
You're a masochist.
No, I'm looking forward to playing with my friends. All my friends that are jumping on.
I guess I would try to get it, and this is me. If I would try to keep running it for, I don't know, is there armor this season? Like, right? Oh, yeah. What's the armor look like this season?
They have not renewed the Iron Banner armor in 2 years, I want to say. It's the same armor. It's just they just rotate to different. It's the same. It's armor we've had in the past.
Right.
I don't know if
Did
it's
you see the pained look on his face?
Oh.
Yeah, there has. They have not. They've introduced some new weapons like the occluded finality sniper rifle's good. It's a high impact sniper rifle, and I love sniper rifles. And then they've got was it a shotgun, Hazel? I think it's a shotgun.
Yeah, Reese Walker.
Yeah, Reese Walker. That I actually tried using it. It was actually pretty fun to use.
But those are the weapons you get from doing the quest, right? Like they make you.
Yeah.
Don't they give you the weapon and then they say, "Hey, get 20 sniper kills or something"?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
See, and that's something and that's another frustrating thing for me. But I get it. Like I don't have a problem with the quest. I'm just going to choose not to do it because I don't ever snipe. So for me to get X amount of sniper kills in Crucible, like that's damn near impossible. Like I'm not even going to keep going. Unless there's like an end-all be-all weapon at the end of it to where I'm like, okay, like I'm going to trudge through this crap and get this. I'm just... Once they said hand cannons, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
And I'm not trying to let this be, let's shit on Bungie tonight.
No.
This is the time of the year usually where people are doing more stuff outside. It's summertime.
It's weird that more people... This is the time of year where most people take breaks, and here I am back.
Well, you know what?
Why is that?
Yeah, why is that? I think I know what you're going to say, but why are you back?
That's like, to be honest with you, like I wanted to level up just to try to run the vault, because the vault is a really good raid, and it had one of, I mean, the Vex Mythic class was probably tied for first with my favorite exotic with Bad Juju. And I have a funny story about my first Vex Mythic class, to be honest with you. I'll tell that later. But it, like, Vision of Confluence was another, like, like D1 weapon that I absolutely, like, probably my favorite scout rifle in that game.
Yet to get one, by the way.
And, me either, because I haven't ran that raid. But I wanted to try to get in there, and I jumped back in, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to play, see what I can do. I'll just play casually. And the story actually kind of hooked me. The story this season so far has been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it. But here's the but, because I got pissed again when they wanted me to pay $10 to continue playing the story. And again, it brings me to Destiny's season pass model is... Okay, if you're going to have a season pass, cool. Like, give us a season pass, make it cosmetic only. But for me to continue a story, again, I say, why not make that season pass earnable through gameplay?
Makes sense.
We've
talked about that before.
I mean, I hate to stand on that soapbox again, but...
It's a nice soapbox, though.
I just don't understand.
You painted it up really nice. It's nice.
I just don't understand why they're locking story content behind a $10 season when, like, I paid for the $40 expansion. I have no problems paying for a $40 expansion. But I don't think that expansion and the 4 stories that follow it are worth $80. That's just me. If it was the $40 expansion plus each season's story included in that 40, then cool. And then if you want to throw a season pass in there that has a bunch of cosmetics that are kind of cool, like this season's cosmetics, what is it? The Eververse armor is horrible for the hunter because that's what I play as. It looks god awful.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss usually.
The seasonal weapons are really cool. And I was pleasantly surprised that I was unlocking those without paying for because I played for that whole first week. I played without owning the season pass, and I don't know. I mean, it was just something with that story thing, that locking that story content behind that season pass that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But that's just my opinion. I mean, some people are okay with it, and that's fine. Other games do. Bungie's not the only one. The Division did the same thing. The Division locked story content behind a season pass, and I was equally as pissed with that. And I mean, I'm not playing the Division at all. Like, I haven't played that. And, you know, Destiny's a game that I always come back to. I haven't gone back to the Division for that reason and others. You know, but I mean, that's just something that, you know, I skipped the last 2 seasons. I didn't play at all last season, and then I've played a healthy chunk this season, just because the story's cool.
Yeah.
And it's kind of setting up the next
expansion. Me and Hazel were setting you up on that because that's the reason we've been sticking in. And I'm speaking for Hazel here. Is the story. I mean, Hazel's like, "Hey, I haven't finished the story yet. You want to jump in and run the story?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." It was kind of fun, running the next chapter.
Legit.
It's a great story.
Really good, like. And if we can touch on that a little bit, I mean, I don't know
for it.
How spoiler you want to go into, but like,
no, go for it.
Okay, so I've played as Hunter since day one. On Destiny 2, I only have a Hunter. There's not even 2 other characters set up on my game.
Mm-hmm.
The Hunter is the only one there. I've been a Hunter gunslinger through and through. Haven't liked Zavala. I have talked shit on Zavala throughout the life of Destiny. But this bitch is trying to overthrow Zavala? Like, really?
Yeah, Lakshmi's being bad.
I mean, I don't know. And the fact that, the Blights showed up. So the Blight thing was super interesting because someone had texted me that says, "Hey, have you seen what showed up in the tower?" And I had... And, well, I was in the tower after reset. Like, I'm collecting bounties, I'm doing my stuff, and I was in the tower, and they were not there. I did several activities and was sitting in orbit, and then I got that text that said, about something being in the tower. I think it was Laz that texted me, or text a group of us that was like, something being in the tower, and I went to the tower, and I saw all the Blights, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, so something's going on, and and it made sense, too, because then, so after reset, that's when I started listening to last week's episode, and Des did a great job of explaining the lore, because I'm very, very lore casual. Like, I like this season's story, but if you're going to ask me what happened in D1, I've slept since then, or had a beer or two since then. Like, I couldn't tell you, but he did a really good job explaining some of the lore that's behind this season, and that was really cool. And then I had a buddy of mine text me today that I haven't been to the tower yet, but he said that there's NPCs that are like singing the Savathun song.
I did not heard that.
Like, that's freaking cool.
Is it like all the NPCs or just some of them?
I don't know. Like, the one that he mentioned was Sweeperbot. Like, Sweeperbot, I guess, is singing the Savathun song.
Okay.
I don't even know what Savathun song sounds like, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you.
When that one mission, the moon and the cheese or something?
Yeah.
Wasn't it kind of based on that a little bit?
Yeah. That Shaq sings, and
right. And
if you hang out near near Crow, he'll sing it too.
Really?
It's crazy though. Like, they've done it. Like, so what was the narrative with Bungie before, right? Is that they had all these loose ends that they would not ever tie up. And now I feel like they're starting to gain some traction on their writing, and I don't know, maybe it's been their plan all along. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. There was just something about this season's story that really clicked, and it caught my ear, and I've really enjoyed it. I mean, so that's why I've logged on each week, and I do what I need to do. And if someone invites me to a raid, like I said, the Potato Thumbs guys got me through Deepstone Crypt, and Marky and Ghost got me through a Nightfall, and it's a game like Destiny, something I'm always going to come back to because a lot of my friends play it, and it's super fun with friends. As a solo, like a mostly solo player, this game is super frustrating. That's just me.
I have my rituals. I have my stuff that I do when I check in. It's usually bounties. I know, Hazel, but I have my rituals that I do every week, and it's not a chore. I enjoy doing it, but it's comfortable for me. And every now and then someone has a raid, I'll have time, I'll jump in and run a raid, or like next week's gonna be Iron Banner. But I wanted to give a shout out, by the way, to Potato Thumbs podcast. I almost did it again. I did an intro for him last night. We were doing a little spoof, and I freaking slurred it like I was drunk or something. The Potato Thumbs podcast had me and Hazel on last night, and their episode's already out. And I just wanted to thank those guys. We have such a good time. Yes. Hanging out with Fluffy and Nips, Admiral Nips, and it was a really great time. And I am in that Discord a lot too, H, and I know a lot of those guys. Like, a lot of them play Crucible, And a lot of them jump in and do stuff as well, just like our community does. And I just want to make sure I gave those guys a shout out. But the point I was trying to get to was go back to Season of Arrivals, Season of the Warmind, the seasons prior to this season. And it just seems like there's more dialogue. There's more actual, maybe not cutscenes. We don't always have to have a cutscene, but we have more dialogue back and forth. So we're actually hearing the story, not just reading it off the screen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing.
It's not just the dialogue to me, though. I mean, to me, it's also the fact that there's conflict, you know?
I know you want the world to burn in Destiny. You want the tower not to be taken blight. You want it on fire.
Just wait, that shit could happen.
It could very well happen.
Well, and that's so speaking of the tower though, but that was another thing that I thought was kind of cool that, and maybe the last couple seasons that I've really just hardcore skipped, did the same thing, but it was cool to see. Like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? The tower started having, like, those little taken, you kind of got those little traces that were kind of in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they were kind of floating around in the tower.
Yeah.
And then this week I logged in and I see the blights in there and I'm like, this is freaking cool. Like,
yeah.
So they've done a good job.
Yeah.
The story-wise, they've done a good job.
And I hope this is the way Destiny does stuff in the future, because if they're going to do story like this, unraveling it every week, I'm in. I mean, I'm in anyway, but I'm definitely in. I'm not going to miss 1 week knowing that there's a progressive story. What I like also is the story is based on a character, not your account. So if you want to play the story back again, you want to replay some of the story, and you can't, obviously, when you run through it, you can go back on your other characters and start from the beginning.
It's a pain in the ass.
I don't know. I kind of like that. Yeah, but I kind of, in a way, I'll hate it. In a way, I like it because I can go back and actually get like a refreshing how things started. I started doing that on my Titan, I think, and I was starting to refresh. It was starting to refresh how, and you could. It's almost like you're going back and reading the chapter over again. You're seeing how actually. Oh, I see how this progressed.
So why not? Let me ask you this though. So for those that play all three characters, because everyone's different, right? So give everyone that option of choice. So like me, I only play Hunter. I'm not gonna play Titan. I'm not gonna play Warlock. I've had those characters before, and I'm like, you know what? It's just something that's taking up screen space. Delete it, whatever. But those that do have others, but don't want to keep playing that story, like, why make that player run through the story just to unlock stasis for that other character? Like, why not? If you want to so for someone like you, if you want to replay the story, didn't Destiny 1 have a weekly heroic story mission that you could replay every single week?
It was selected. It wasn't the whole story. It was selected missions.
Right. Yeah. But also, wasn't Vanilla D1? Couldn't you go through and see all the old story missions? Am I wrong in that?
No, not at all.
You could
You're
not
right.
go... Right. Couldn't you
right.
go through it and just replay the story missions as you saw fit because they were right there on the director?
It's been such
what
a long
thought.
Time. Huh.
Like, why not... Like, why not give a player that option?
I can't remember. I guess you can't you?
The strikes are there.
Dude, you can load up D1 right now, and you'll be able to go ahead and play any of the original missions. You could go back and play the Dark Below mission.
Well, I mean, they sunset half of Destiny 2, so...
Because half of... Like, all of the strikes are on Destiny 2 right now. Like, you can go to any planet, and you could see that specific strike, and you can load into it because you want to play that strike.
Right.
Why? I don't know, because the D2 strikes are horrible. But you could, why not put those story missions on those destinations just like you do the strikes? So Makes sense. Someone like you that wants to go back through and play it, you can. But if somebody else does not want to go through and play that, but they want their other character, like, why not have that option to, hey, if you unlock stasis for your Hunter, you've got it on your Titan, and you've got it on your Warlock.
See,
I see no point in going through all that stuff again to unlock all that stuff all over.
There, I agree with you, H, because I have unlocked stasis fully on only my Warlock. I haven't unlocked it fully on my other two characters because I don't want to go back and do all that. And now the stasis has been nerfed. Now I definitely don't. But it was too much work, dude. Every week to unlock a fragment that was specific to that character, I would unlock all I could with my Warlock, and I either didn't have the time or didn't want to spend the time to unlock it on my other characters. And they need to make that account wide. I agree. If you unlock, if you run through all the missions, you unlock all the fragments and all the extra things in the tree, it should transfer to all your characters that you play.
Well, the fragments do that.
Well, yes, fragments. I'm confusing.
So
but the other things that the what is it?
The aspects do as well.
Aspects. But you have to still run the initial opening scene, the opening stories and the opening mission.
This shit's been out for like 6 months.
I still haven't gotten it done on my other two characters.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, man.
I'm just saying.
I haven't gotten Stasis done.
It's priorities. It's priorities.
I haven't even gotten Stasis done on my Hunter at all because Stasis is stupid.
Oh, don't get me started, H. It is the fucking ice show. It is.
I loved Stasis. I loved it. It was glorious.
Oh, here's my thing on Stasis, right? So when the season before this expansion was kind of introducing us to playing with the darkness, right? They kind of hinted that the Wither Horde and what's the trace rifle that turns the things into the little ball?
Divinity.
No, not Divinity.
Trace rifle.
Effigy.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. So they hinted that those were like darkness type weapons, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
They gave strong hints that. Right. So I was thinking that the darkness was going to be more of a damage over time type subclass, right?
Still could be.
Not like Destiny prides themselves, maybe not prides themselves, but Destiny has always been known for their character movement, character speed, and the way you can move fluidly throughout the game.
Yes.
And so they introduced these two weapons that strongly hint that you're starting to use the darkness.
Right.
And then they're like, go, stop, freeze. You're just playing fucking freeze tag the whole time.
Before Beyond Light even came out, I was already saying no one's going to be one to be frozen in Crucible. It's never, no one's, I don't like this new subclass coming. I said it from the beginning.
It's not bad in PvE. It really is terrible in Crucible.
Okay, so hold on. I have to freeze an enemy and then decide to kill him. Why can't I just shoot my gun and kill him? It's an extra step for me. I don't like it.
If you're playing PvE, they're just dead. Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works because
no, you freeze them. You literally have to. If you're using your super, like, all right, say I'm using my staff on my warlock, and I go around and I freeze them. They're not dead. They just sit there, and if you don't kill them, with the energy, they'll come back to life.
I'm going to say this about Stasis. I really like that other players use it when I'm playing Override and fighting the boss. I will admit that.
Yeah.
Other than that, like. Stasis and Crucible.
Thanks for freezing him so I could kill him.
I really, to be honest with you, I really thought that it was going to be like more of a, like I thought it was going to be like a Thorn type.
Yeah, where you're frozen and you're dying.
I thought it was going to be like a damage over time. To be honest with you, that's kind of what I expected. Like more of like a poison or. I don't know. I guess ice just doesn't scream darkness to me. I don't know.
Okay, we can beat up on Stasis. We've done that enough, but I just want to make sure you had your 2 cents there.
It just sounds like you guys don't really know how to use it or something like that.
Hazel, I'll be honest. Hazel, if I'm gonna go to an enemy, let's just say I got a group of enemies, okay? I got a group of Vex goblins in front of me. Say I got 5 of them. I can blast them with my Telesto and kill them all in one shot. Or am I going to throw my staff at him and freeze him and then go and punch him or shoot him some more? How is that more productive?
I don't mind it.
It's a 2-step thing. I think that's the issue you're having with it.
I don't like the 2-step.
Wah. But anyway.
I don't mind it in PvE. To be honest with you, I don't use it, but I don't mind my teammates using it in PvE. My biggest issue with Stasis was PvP, and even though they nerfed it, like people still use it, and I still get frozen. I mean, it's not as bad, but I don't know. I guess it just interfered. I know playing that story, the initial story that included Stasis, like I fucking hated it because I was always it's like you're in a hurry to go somewhere and then you're just stopped. And I don't know.
I think
I still struggle to break out of it, and I don't know. It's just
Most of
just
them,
weird.
see, you think I really am a stasis hater. It really in Crucible didn't affect me much because that's not my game. The people who are running around with shotguns and are the alpha players that like to get in people's faces, stasis was made to stop and slow you down. For people like me who I'm sniping or I'm using a pulse rifle and laning or medium range, stasis didn't really affect me because you could never reach me with a frozen grenade or anything. So it really, I know
Unless you're the warlock and you had that melee.
Yeah, but even then, the
It could
tracking
hit you from the time you spawn in from
it
across
used
the
to.
did.
But it's been nerfed so much now, and it doesn't only hold you for almost a little over a second. So what good is that?
Now.
If it's okay, let's say I threw my ice flare bolt at you, Hazel, and you're a medium distance. You're frozen, and I'm running at you with a shotgun. You're already unfrozen by the time I'm halfway there, and I'm dead. So it doesn't even. It's useless at distance. It's made basically to slow down shotgunners or to disable or handicap someone while you can get time to kill them.
I think my other issue with it was in PvE, especially or PvE sometimes. But so one of the I unapologetically can't stand Titans because of the Titan wall, and it never fails that I will be. Whether I'm playing PvE or PvP, I'll be in a lane and I'm shooting. I'm clearly in a firefight, and then here comes this Titan that throws up his wall right in front of me, and I can't shoot through that wall, right? So what Stasis did was give every subclass a grenade that, guess what it does? It puts a wall right in front of you, and I think that was.
And you better back off of it if they have Shatter Dive.
Like I said, it's not a, I don't know. I don't play as often as I used to. I know that my experience with it are not fantastic. I don't have a problem with my teammates that use it, obviously, in Override, because that's really about the most I experience it right now. But it just seemed like an odd, I guess it was an odd darkness subclass when they were kind of setting us up for because like the Witherhoard's fantastic. I absolutely love that gun. I feel like they were setting us up for like a DOT, like a damage over time type subclass.
Right.
And then we got freeze tag.
Okay. Enough.
But you know what though? I mean, do you know how pissed off the community would be if it was freezing and damage over time?
In Crucible,
in Crucible, yeah.
Reddit would be on fire again.
Do you know how pissed off
but
everybody would be?
what about Witherhoard was frozen? That's kind of what I was getting at.
I've gotten killed several times by it.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get it. No. I mean, but I'm just saying though, I mean, I think that the damage over time thing is going to be it is going to be a darkness subclass at some point.
Yeah, I think we'll get it.
I think so. I think they learned their lesson. I don't think there'll be anything freezing anymore. God forbid.
Oh no, it's going to be worse.
No,
it's going to be damage over time.
Well, damage over time is fun.
Something.
Damage over time, I have no problem with.
Like a poison, what do they call it? Poison or decay.
Clip it all you want.
Recording this.
You're recording.
So I'm going to clip this.
Clip it. I dare you. I dare you.
Okay.
Clip it. I double dog dare you.
Damage over time is fine. Did you hear that?
Damage over time. Hey, I don't. I use a thorn.
He is not going to bitch about this.
I didn't say that. I didn't promise you that.
I fucking hate thorn.
You know what though? But you know what though? Thorn was awesome because you could 2-tap someone and walk away. You knew you had enough damage over time. Once you got that second shot in him, you could just walk away. It takes skill to use Thorn. You just can't go. You can't go spamming Thorn everywhere.
Is it really though?
You gotta have aim. You gotta know how to use it.
Does it really though?
It does.
Oh, you have to aim it. Oh, okay. Ooh.
Otherwise, there'd be nothing but thorns in Iron Banner next week. No. I just wanted H's opinion because we haven't talked to him in a while, and Stasis has gone through a lot of changes. But let's go to the positive here. I'll ask you, H. You said you liked the story and stuff. Where do you think Bungie's going from here? What's your speculation?
Man, to be honest with you, I don't know. Obviously, Savathun's going to show up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the community thought is that she's corrupting Osiris. I don't know.
I don't know. It's definitely sus.
It's still out there.
It could be. I think Osiris. Bungie does a good job at not making things super obvious, right? So, one thing that I brought up was, what if it's still Ava? Like, wasn't that kind of a fun little rumor for a while that Savathun was Ava Levante? So what if it's her? I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go.
I'll gladly kick her off the edge of the tower.
The story so far is really cool, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm glad that they're finally kind of starting to tie everything all in together. I like that. So what I gathered from, and again, shout out to Dez. Like, he did a good job kind of discussing the lore last week, because I had no clue about what's the Vex thing's name.
Curia.
Okay, so
Curia. Yeah.
From what I understood she can now replicate Oryx, right? Or close to it or whatever, but isn't that the perfect setup to bring back Kingsfall?
Oh, man.
Like, don't you think that's kind of what they're doing?
That would be great. I'd love to play Kingsfall again.
I would hope, but I don't know.
I mean, that's my thoughts, is that's like hey, that's how you bring back the Kingsfall raid and tie it into the lore. Because I haven't ran the Vault, though, but is the Vault of Glass raid this like tied into the lore of this season?
Not at all.
I don't think so. No, it's just a specialty. It's just
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just something special for this season. It's like a. Actually on the map they actually call it what? Like a
legend
story, like
it's
a legends.
Yeah, but is it still Venus? Like, is that first encounter still on Venus?
It is. It is. You get to see the front of Venus where you have to open the port.
It's walled off though, and you can't go out.
Oh, you can't. Oh, no. Damn.
I was hoping in Venus too, because I'm really hoping that they eventually bring back all of Venus, because I miss Venus. It's one of my favorite planets.
They will. Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening. So.
All right. Well, I'll ask you this. We had this question. One of our community members asked it a long time ago, and we kind of keep asking a lot of our guests about it. Knowing where Bungie, or where you're hoping Bungie will go, if Bungie said, you know what, AgentAech, we're going to give you a small, talented team of developers, and you run with whatever direction you want to run in improving Destiny, the game, for players and the community, what direction would you go?
Fix Crucible.
That's for damn
What's wrong
sure. To be honest with you, because so Crucible for me, not Crucible, PvP game, like in general, is something that keeps me entertained in a video game. And, like, I will run through the story of a Call of Duty or like, I've never ran the story of a Battlefield, but like, I'll run through a story of a Destiny. But something that keeps me coming back is a good PvP mode, because that is something that always changes, right?
No game's ever the same. Right.
No game is ever the same, and it always changes. It could be the same map. I don't give a shit that we haven't had a new Crucible map.
Really?
I don't care.
So what is it about Crucible? Is it the progression? Is it?
It's just it's the competition. It's going up against somebody else. It's going up against another human that's going to think and act differently, because you're playing PvE, right? You're going to run through a strike. You know exactly where the enemies are going to spawn.
Yep.
You know exactly what enemy is going to be where. You know what weapon type you need to break their shield. Like, that's something that is always a constant, but you don't know. I mean, every player plays different.
Yeah.
And that's something that always changes. But right now...
But what would you, with your developers, what would you change?
Man, I honestly don't know. I think the problem that Bungie has with the Crucible is their weapons are balanced for PvE and PvP, and I think that's where they continue to struggle.
We've always said
I don't know that you can ever fix that, to be honest with you. If you have a game that's the Division struggled with that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted the Division to be my PvP game. I did, because one of my favorite PvP, one of my favorite, player versus player games of all time was Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And Ghost Recon Future Soldier had a great story. Yes, absolutely loved it. But I met some lifelong friends that I still talk to this day through the Future Soldier player versus player. And the Division plays almost identical to that game, except it's a looter shooter. So everything is tied to the roll of your gun, the specs on your gear, the stats on your gear, and stuff like that. And I think that's where. So this was Hazel knew about this. Gatr, you did not, but my controversial statement for Destiny that I was going to bring up the last episode was my favorite version of Crucible in D2 was vanilla D2.
With double primaries?
Minus the double primary.
Okay.
Minus double primary. And I'll tell you why. Because every gun was exactly the same, and everything was an even playing field.
It was a team shot meta. Right.
Because if I have a certain gun, and you have a certain gun, but you have a certain roll on that gun, that might give you an advantage. But because of RNG, I didn't get that roll, so I may be at a disadvantage.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And
fixed
that's
rolls.
the problem. Yeah, so that's I don't like fixed rolls on guns. That is something that Destiny needed to change, but I feel like Crucible will never be an even playing field because of the rolls, because of the rolls on the weapons, and because of stupors, or subclasses. That's the other thing that my favorite D2 game mode, honestly, is momentum control, because momentum control is it's basically Halo SWAT. I mean, you can use almost any weapon and it's going to be effective. Because like momentum, there's no overshield, right? You don't have a shield. It's basically like a one-tap headshot with anything you use, correct?
Yeah, right.
So
pretty much.
Anyone that's ever listened to me in any podcast is, what have I always said? One of my favorite all-time games was Unreal Tournament. That was my first PvP experience, was Unreal Tournament 2. And my favorite game mode, the favorite mode I went to was low gravity, Insta-Gib, capture the flag. And Insta-Gib was one-hit kill.
Right. Like hardcore COD.
Kind of, yeah. But the thing with momentum, where momentum is different than Insta-Gib or hardcore COD, whatever, is you got to hit if it's a one-tap headshot. But you don't have a lot of supers in that game mode either. So it doesn't matter what your role is. You're not getting it doesn't really matter what your subclass is.
That's true.
But it's probably the most even
skill.
Playing field. Yeah, it's all gun skill.
Yep.
And that's what I want Crucible to be, is I want it to be a gun game. I don't want it to be... I honestly enjoyed the low amount of supers in vanilla D2 Crucible.
Well, yeah. What if they came out with a weapon-only, no abilities? A weapon-only game. With shields, though. With overshields.
Is it gonna have rolls? Is it going to have weapon rolls?
Yeah, I see what
it's
you
gonna
mean.
have to.
See, this is the thing.
That's my problem. So why not? Why can't? Hear me out on this. What if Bungie's IP that they're working on is an arena shooter that's not centered around Guardians?
I know. I think it is. I think it's going to be that.
It's not.
What if it's an arena shooter? Like, what would be so wrong with that? I would fucking love it.
I'd buy in a second.
It was just a flat. If it was a flat arena shooter, that you could get, like, hey, here's your. I don't know what the rate of fire on on any of the weapons is, but like, here's your base 120 hand cannon. Here's your base 160 or 150 hand cannon, whatever. But like, take the weapon rolls out of it. And to me, like, why not make Crucible that right now? Like, why not take the weapon rolls completely out? You can already disable weapons at the drop of a dime because it's broken. So why not just completely disable weapon rolls in Crucible, period? And let them play like, hey, I mean, you might have your Chroma Rush auto rifle, but you're not going to get kill clip and your other stuff with it.
Right.
What would be so wrong with that?
Well, that's the only thing holding it back is a competitive shooter, because it has so many variations. Unless you're in the know and you know the exact roles and the exact, which you have to do a lot of research. That's not common knowledge. You have to scour YouTube to find all that stuff out. It really can't be a competitive shooter because you really don't know your true skill, because you don't know if that guy has kill clip activated or not. And when you get killed with one headshot playing a regular game, you're like, wait a minute now. How did I get killed by one headshot? Well, I don't know that he has kill clip activated. I agree, man. I kind of like maybe if they just had a version of Crucible, not quick play or any of that, just a basic gun game where it's just
Give me momentum control as a permanent playlist.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
But but the problem is you still have gun rolls and you still have, which I know don't matter as much, but you still have abilities. You still have abilities and stuff though.
But not very much because your abilities,
they're slow.
Your abilities do not spawn. They're slow.
Yeah. I get
it's
that.
probably
time is doubled.
I think momentum control is more. I could be wrong, but the closer it is, the charge time on your abilities is probably more like vanilla.
It's like doubled, I think. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Not fast.
No,
it's not fast. It's
no,
slow.
I mean like it's doubled like the time.
Oh, gotcha.
And why would you want to worry about using a Nova Bomb when you can kill them just as quick with a gun?
With it, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
I see your point. I see your point.
My favorite weapon in momentum is Jade Rabbit because
absolutely.
So one of the another game that I'm really looking forward to is the new Halo, and my favorite Halo multiplayer mode is SWAT because it's either, and SWAT changes, so you could go into a game of SWAT and you're either going to get DMRs or they'll give you battle rifles or they'll give you pistols, but it's a one tap headshot every single time, and it's just, dude, there's something about that game mode in Halo that when Bungie first brought momentum, and I think it was the pinnacle weapon at the time was Randy's throwing knife, and
yes,
I spent all my time like when momentum was active, that's all I played. And it's just, I think it's just something that if they gave me the keys, that's what I'm saying is I would say maybe not fix Crucible, because some people like Crucible the way it is. Everybody's different, right? That's the wonderful thing about humans is we're all different. Right. So I may like something that somebody else dislikes, but so maybe have that game mode in Crucible that is, like just shut the rolls off on all the weapons and shut your abilities off. Like
save that for PvE.
Just make it a flat arena shooter, and because that's it's just one of my favorite things to do is just hop in. And if I only have, with my game time right now, between work, a busy summer with softball with my kid, or anything else, or even just going out on the bike, playing around a disc golf, whatever, my game time is cut super short right now. Right. So I only have 30 minutes to an hour at a time. And so that's kind of what drove me to those BRs. Right. So that's what drove me to Apex, because I can go in and play a 20-minute Apex match and feel satisfied.
And you don't have to go run 40 Nightfalls to get that gun with a perfect roll.
Exactly, because there's no gun with a perfect roll. Everyone has the same shit.
So basically, the current state of Crucible, the people who have more time to play, more time to farm, more time to grind, are always going to be at a better advantage.
I feel like,
taking away or making skill equal. Yeah.
Unless you're RNG Gatr and you just get the perfect roll every single time.
We don't mention the wrong guy here.
Wrong guy.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, though. I just think that, so basically what it sounds like you want is just curated roles. Like a playlist of curated roles.
Shut them off.
Give us an option. Give us a playlist for that.
Yeah. Give me a playlist that, give me the, oh God, what's the pulse rifle I'm loving right now? The
new ones, the season?
Yeah, this season.
The fast firing one. I could tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's the it's called the Grid Skipper.
Grid Skipper. So give me a Grid Skipper with 0 rolls. Give me some scopes on it.
Yeah.
And let me play with that gun as is. Let me play with that gun's damage as is.
Better yet, get whatever rolls you can use in PvE, but then just have them disabled whenever you get in Crucible. In this playlist.
That's what I'm saying. Just shut them off.
Right.
Bungie's proven that they have the ability to shut things off when they want. So why not have a playlist that just shuts down the perks and this. Like, I don't want to say abilities because the grenades are useful, the melee's useful. You know,
it's a tool.
Whether it's your dodge, you know, your ability, that stuff's useful. But like, maybe shut off the supers or slow them down like momentum.
Right.
I think like basically the gist of it is I would be happy if they just brought momentum control as a permanent playlist in Crucible
or something similar to it. Here's I'll play devil's advocate here. There's the reason why it won't happen. Because that's part of Destiny's magic is you get that gun and you're like, oh, wow, let's see what roles this has. Let's go play it in Crucible and see how it kills people. That magic is part of Destiny.
Not every role is like a lot of those hardcore players can look at a role and say, this gun is going to suck in Crucible, but it's going to be great in PvE.
Yeah, that's true. What I'm saying,
you know
though,
what I mean?
is...
So if you see that role, like, yeah. I think that's the mindset that... I don't know. Like I said, that's where I think...
My worry, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, no, I got you. I just think that's where, as long as they have their weapons, I think that's where they struggle is having that, you know, those weapons trying to balance for PvE and PvP. That's why some games don't have a PvP. You know, Outriders and Anthem, which, you know, rip Anthem.
Yeah.
But those guys both said that they're not going to have a PvP in their game because they didn't want to deal with the headache of balancing for PvE and PvP. So they just said, we're not even going to have a PvP. And that's, you know, that was their decision and that was fine.
Right.
But those games, especially like Anthem, I think could have had some amazing PvP. Like, I think it could have been really, really cool with a bunch of people playing Iron Man flying around an arena blowing shit up. I think it could have been cool, but
I see your point, man. I see your point. I think part of the magic of Destiny has always been, even in Destiny 1, was getting that drop on that weapon and going, oh man, first thing I always thought of is, let's go try this in Crucible and see how it works. Let's see what kill clip does. Let's see if it really does take only 2 shots instead of 4. You know, things like that. But I don't know, that conversation can go on forever, I think, but I was just curious what's the main thing you would need to improve right now. And I really like maps. They need to bring some maps in because playing the same maps over and over again, you get to know map knowledge so well. It's good to have them shake it up and throw some new maps in there. I think they need to put new maps in there, but I still, to this day, I still wonder if the reason why a lot of the sandbox team left Destiny is Destiny decided a long time ago that we're going to make a game for just Crucible and multiplayer only. I really wonder.
It's not going to happen, man. They've already almost told everybody what the hell the next game is anyway.
What is the next game going to be?
It's going to be some fantasy shooter. Fantasy.
So no PvP, the opposite.
No, I think it's going to have PvP in it. I just think that it's going to be, I mean, according to what I've read and things like that, it's going to be kind of fantasy based and more comic and things like that.
Oh.
What's Destiny?
Yeah, I was just going to say, didn't that like Destiny?
Not at all, man. Is it like Destiny? Come on.
Destiny's not fantasy?
Not really.
Space magic?
I mean, yeah, but this is going to be more I think OG fantasy with elves and orcs and shit like that.
Oh, no spacemen. Okay, I got you. All right, well, hey, I mean, I'm all with Bungie. Bungie makes great games.
An elf with an AK.
Maybe.
No, an elf
or a rapid fire bow.
or an electrified stick he sticks up your butt. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where that went.
Or a spoon, maybe?
No spoons.
Overtime. Let's do this.
Well, hey, before we go, anything else we want to talk about before we move on? I think Hazel's got a twab to read here, but anything else you guys been playing? Anything you guys been watching? Want to go around the horn on that?
Yeah. H?
I've nothing else I really been playing. I started Dark Alliance a few days ago. I played it a little bit tonight with some of my buddies. Super fun. It's not super polished. So Dark Alliance is a Dungeons and Dragons game, and from what my friend said, that the characters you play as come straight from a D&D book. So I don't know if he meant like a D&D story novel or if it's like a dungeon master guide, like a dungeon master book. So I'm not sure on that, but apparently there's a little bit of lore there. It's just a dungeon crawler kind of RPG. Like you go through, obviously, dungeon, you get loot. Yeah, it's just something. It was kind of fun. The game's not super polished. Like me and my buddy and his son, we all got stuck in the same location and had to quit. So we all lost all the loot for that level. So it's not super polished by any means, but what game now is, it's just something we deal with. Other than that, TV shows, I've watched 2 episodes of Loki. I've started 1 episode of Peaky Blinders, and I think that looks like it's going to be really, really cool.
I've heard good things.
Other than that, man, I just have a couple games. I'd like to talk a little bit later ish about Halo and Battlefield, to be honest with you. I think
let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna be dipping into community questions. We're gonna do a lot of community questions tonight because we have so many of them. So yeah, if you want to talk about some games coming up, this is the time, man. This is our main discussion time.
So obviously E3 happened,
right.
And E3 as an event, and this is something we kind of had this discussion in the Discord, but E3 as an event was kind of a dud, because it just is. That event has kind of gone downhill since. I mean, so many either developers, gaming companies, whatever you want to call them, have kind of split away from it. Like Sony does their own thing now, Nintendo kind of does their own thing.
And now Xbox is doing their own thing.
I mean, kind of theirs was tied into E3.
Starfield.
No, he's talking about like
E3, the show is
sorry, my bad.
But a few things that really, really caught my eye was Halo. Halo looked phenomenal.
It did.
I thought Halo looked great. The old school, like the OG Halo fans, I know. Like, my cousin being one of them, he hates the fact that they're bringing equipment into it. But to me, you've got to evolve, right? You can't be the same old game that you've... Like, they put out the Master Chief Collection for a reason. If you want to play those old school Halo games, they have that avenue for you. A game has to evolve. And to me, the new version of Halo, I think, is going to be fantastic. Like, it pushes all those buttons for me for a game that really makes me want to play it. And since I have such a strong opinion on season passes, their version of a season pass, I think, is going to change the way a lot of people do a season pass. So for anyone that doesn't know, Halo is... The campaign will be on Game Pass day 1, which Game Pass is a fantastic service. Yes. Any Microsoft first-party game will be day 1 on Game Pass. That includes Halo. But Halo PvP is going free to play. So if you don't give a shit about the story, you don't want to play the story, you just want to dive into Halo PvP, that is free to play 100%. The way they are doing their seasons is you buy their season, whatever the price is. I assume $10 because that's kind of the standard. Mm-hmm. That season never, ever expires. If you don't hit whatever this cap is for that season, so season rank 100, that seems to be the staple, that season will not expire. So they will still move to the next season, but that original season, once you buy it, it never expires. So you can buy the next season.
Be working on 2 seasons at once?
No, you actually choose which season you're working towards.
Okay.
But if you decide to skip a season... and you're like, man, this season's kind of a dud, and I never finished my last season, you can keep working towards that previous season.
Right.
I think that's really... Having a non-expiring season, I think, is really going to make a lot of... I don't think it's going to... I don't know. It may change some things, but I think it's going to make a lot of developers think about the way they do.
That's a great idea, dude. Because what's the one thing? You get a season rolls around in Destiny, and you just don't have the time to finish it.
Exactly.
And they make you buy it again to finish the blocks up at $1 a level. I don't like that idea.
I don't know that they make you... I think with theirs is...
They don't make you. I mean, if you want what's on that pass for the premium level that you bought, if you want to catch up, you didn't have the time to play it naturally, you pay $1 a level.
Right. And I think all of their stuff, I know they said that there's no like loot box type things. There's, everything is earnable through gameplay. So that's just something that I think they made all the right moves. They're checking all the right boxes for me. Halo is a game that's the game that got me my first Xbox. I bought an Xbox 360 to play an original Xbox game and Halo 2. And, it's had some misses here and there, but like Halo 5, like I love Halo 5. I love that PvP. Mm-hmm. It was so much fun. And I think this one is just going to take that and roll with it and improve upon it. And then the other game, motherfucking Battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. I don't even know how to describe what I saw on Battlefield, but I think it's going to be cool as shit.
I got lots of Battlefield 4 vibes of being on top of a skyscraper and it dropping to the ground after it got blown up enough and parachuting off only to find 1 million soldiers below you. And you're like, oh, I'm dead. There's no way I'm going to make. And there'd be so much smoke and confusion. If no one has ever played a Battlefield game and you're used to arena shooters, Battlefield is the most realistic video game as far as military combat that I've ever played. That's my opinion, obviously. I know there's some computer games out there that are much better.
I mean,
I'm talking
Tarkov.
Well,
pretty fucking realistic.
Yeah, but I see little quality of life thing. I tried to play Tarkov and I couldn't. I got the wrong bullets.
That game's like getting punched in the nuts.
It is. It's like I got the wrong bullets. Really, it's like ultra RNG. I have to wait for the right bullets to appear so I can even use my gun. No thanks. I'm good.
So one of the cool things, and I've said this, I've sent this video to a lot of friends. One of my favorite plays in Battlefield was the I don't know how you say the word, like the Irindazook. I think that's how you say it, but it's a player flying a jet, and I think it's Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And he flies and he goes up into a straight climb, ejects, turns around, snipes the pilot behind him, and then lands in his airplane and takes off.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Battlefield trailer acknowledges... Yes. So the original Irindazook is a guy ejects, shoots an RPG at a plane, and then gets back in his plane.
And that's not guided, by the way. That has to be
it's not guided. Line. Like, he shoots an RPG, blows up the guy behind him, and then free falls gets back in his plane and flies off. And the fact that they put that in the CG trailer to acknowledge those amazing plays, to me, just tells me that they're... I don't know, dude. I got chills when I saw that. I thought it was fucking cool.
H, did you play Battlefield 3 and 4?
Oh yeah. Okay. Those were those were the two most played Battlefields.
Yeah.
Played.
Me
Battlefield
too.
3,
modern shooters.
Battlefield 3, my thing was, and Battlefield's not for everyone. I had this last time I was on PTP. Nips brought this up, like he just couldn't get into it, and I think Battlefield's one of those games that you have to find your thing, right? Yeah. And my thing in Battlefield 3 it was me and two other guys, and because in Battlefield the maps, the teams are so big that you have small squads within the team. That way you can communicate with your friends.
Groups of 5.
Because Battlefield 2042 is going to be, what's the player count?
128.
So 64 v 64?
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
But the maps are so big, it's not going to feel...
They are, but the cool thing about the maps, though, is you can traverse across them quickly. Like, it doesn't... They're big maps, but they don't seem as big because you can get around them quickly with using vehicles. Anyway, so me and my two buddies, we all played as engineers because the engineers was...
you were tank busters.
We had the equipment, right? We had the AT mines. So we would find like the little dune buggies. We would load up all of our AT mines on the front of that dune buggy, and then we'd all get in and drive and just tank hunt. And I've never had more fun intentionally killing myself in a video game than I had in Battlefield 3. And that was my thing. That's what we did. I think a few things that that they've acknowledged that they're changing is making all of the weapons unlockable with every class. That's something that needs to happen.
That needed to happen, yes.
And then, obviously, you're still going to have classes like your assault, your medic, your engineer, and your sniper or your
reconnaissance,
scout,
recon.
And then within those, they have the specialists that are going to be. That's how you choose the equipment that you use, like so that maybe it's your AT mine or your. One has a one has a wingsuit.
Yeah, you'll have a specialization, and then you can customize it out from there. Yeah, right, it's pretty nice. Right. It's pretty nice. Really good quality improvement.
The cool thing with Battlefield for me was they've always destructible environments. So if you have if you have a sniper that's just pissing you off in a building, get in a fucking tank and blow that building.
Take it out. And then you see a little line come across, kill. 145 points.
Yeah.
Here, you know what? Here's the thing about Battlefield, and I know it's not for everybody, but Battlefield is like you got a huge giant map. They give you all these toys, whether it's equipment or guns or whatever, and they just say, "Go at it, guys." And you can be playing a game for a whole hour and not even think about the time that's gone by. And at the end of that game, you're like, "Wow. That was freaking amazing." And it's just like Crucible. No game is ever the same. It's so much fun. I really cannot wait. I've been waiting for a modern shooter from Battlefield because I'll be honest, the World War II and the World War I battlefields, I just had I thought, the progression of the weapons was way too shallow a pool. I remember playing Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, you got so many kills with the weapon, it unlocked a new scope. And you were always looking to get that FLRI scope. The infrared scope you could see in dark areas. I did videos about it. I'm on my YouTube channel. If you go way back in Battlefield, I am giving reviews on the FLIR scopes. That's how much progression and how much content they had packed into just one gun. Yeah. And I really hope they don't go the Battlefront route where you have like a small tree of guns and you unlock them and there's hardly any attachments to them. And, you know what I'm saying? Did you play Battlefront? Did you ever try the Star Wars game?
A little bit. Not a whole lot. I know the Battlefront had a lot of, kind of controversy. They had a lot of hate right at the beginning.
A lot of it was broken.
It was very, very, very pay to win. Like,
yes.
EA really dropped the ball on that one. Like, the one franchise you don't mess with is Star Wars. Yeah. And when they pissed off Star Wars fans with having basically like, hey, Luke and Vader, if you want to play as them, fork over some cash and it'll drop. Once they did that, so I didn't really mess with it. I played it and it was fun.
It was, but you you played
with
what we play. All my friends that play Battlefield jumped in because it's made by the same people. It was DICE, and
it's DICE. It's basically Battlefield with a Star Wars skin.
It's Battlefield with a Star Wars skin, and it was like a quarter of the progression, a quarter of the customization, and once everyone found out what the most powerful weapon was, it was way out of balance. And then the heroes were just like having a super in Destiny. You just were going to get so many kills with it. I mean, it was an instant kill button, and people don't like that. And I love the visuals of Battlefront games were amazing. The detail, the realism, the actual canon, everything was very much followed the story. They didn't embellish anything. In fact, they would take props from the movie and duplicate them. They would digitally duplicate them to put them in the game. They were that accurate with it, and I love them for that. But then they give us this tiny little progression bar. I'm like, okay, so you guys basically gave us all this fluff, beautiful, beautiful game, but no way to progress in it. And that's when I was like, this is trash. I'm done. I played it for a week, and I think once I unlocked everything, I was like, there's nothing else to do. I'm out. And I know Battlefront 2, they've improved a lot of it. It became more like a Battlefield game. There was more things to unlock and stuff, and they had other game modes that were fun. But I'm so looking forward to the new Battlefield game because I'm really hoping it brings me back to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 because I don't know about you, Jared, but I could play so many thousands of hours in that game and spend whole nights till 2 a.m. every night and just have the best time of my life, dude.
And what's cool is if you look at the player counts for Battlefield 4 right now, Battlefield 4 is
Did you hear about it? They almost broke the internet. They almost broke the servers.
Yeah, EA had to make more servers for Battlefield 4.
What's that telling you?
The influx of new players.
That's a thirst for a modern shooter out there that's realistic. Yeah, I can't wait, dude.
So it's going to be fun, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And even beyond that, I think touching on more video game stuff is I think that even though I'm basically all PC at this point, like I feel like we can finally squash the I don't want to say that like Xbox is ahead or Microsoft is ahead or they're winning, but I feel like they finally maybe not even caught up, but they've established themselves as they finally have comparable first-party titles, because I think Halo's going to lead the way, but then you have your first-party title in Starfield. They bought those studios for a reason, and
a lot of money too.
They finally want people to, and the cool thing about it is those are I guess the thing I like about Xbox and Microsoft is you don't have to have a console, right? Like I played Dark Alliance. Dark Alliance is an Xbox Game Pass game.
On PC.
Day one on Xbox Game Pass. My two friends were playing on Xbox. I'm playing on PC.
And you play cross.
And it works, yeah.
Nice.
And I think, I can't say for certain, but I think Halo is going to be the same way. I know that they said they at least acknowledged cross progression, so you can play on Xbox or PC, but I think they're going to have cross play where between Xbox and PC.
Okay. That'd be cool.
But yeah, I mean, Game Pass is looking better and better and better.
I think we have so much more that we don't even see yet that Xbox is going to be coming with.
Dude,
they're strong. They've got some really good backers now. They've got so many studios in their pocket.
Sony's still killing it too, but the thing I like about Sony and what they're doing too is they're kind of doing the same thing as those first party titles that everybody, that's the one thing that PlayStation has always said is we've got the first party titles. But those first party titles are starting to come to PC. Like I can play Horizon Zero Dawn, which is dude, amazing. It's an amazing game.
It's fun. That's one game I did play. Yep.
But that's something that I can play on PC now, and I think God of War is coming. I've heard rumors that the Spider-Man games are coming. I really hope so, because I would love to play them. And it's not to say that I won't ever buy a PS5, but it's if they come to... I feel like we're starting to bridge that, like, that us versus them. I don't know that, like, what was it? MLB The Show. MLB The Show has always been a Sony PlayStation exclusive, and it was a day one Xbox Game Pass game.
Yep.
That was the first.
I think that they're starting to bridge that gap between, like, I don't know that it will. You're always going to have your Sony fanboys, your Xbox fanboys, your PCMR, like you're always going to have that, but I think that we're finally closing that gap to say, you know what, play what you want to play where you want to play it. And that's, to me, that just tells me that we all win, right?
I agree, dude. I think we're all heading there.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to have their platform that they like, and everyone's going to be able to play together eventually. It'll all be cross-play.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I saw an article this week that said that Sony is actually looking into doing crossplay for everything that they do now.
Wow.
Good.
Sony saying that is awesome.
Sony.
Because they've always been the one to hold up the train.
Exactly.
Everyone's been ready to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what their holdup is, but, Xbox, I mean, to me, Xbox always seemed like they were down with it. Like, hey,
they're always
do this.
Yes.
But that seemed like sort of like maybe like their death gasp. Like, like they're gonna, like their last leg, like, hey, don't forget about us.
Right.
But, I mean, now it's like, okay, now this seems actually like something that people want to do.
I hope so, man. Because this having clans that are only on certain platforms, and all these restrictions, and I cannot wait for the day when we don't have to put a platform name next to our username in Discord, and it's just I'm Gatr. Where we play? What are we playing tonight? And there's like 1 million people to play anything. I can't wait for that day to come. It's gonna be great. Well, hey, one thing I did want to mention is the old Gatr here is actually playing another game. I know, hard to believe, but my son has got me. My son has got me into playing League of Legends Teamfight Tactics. Have you ever heard of this game? It's like
visual bit, but I just took a drink because Gatr said he's playing another game.
Yeah, everybody drink. I've
forgotten about that.
I'm actually playing it. It's just like speed chess. It is so much fun, dude. The games are over really quick, and it's a very steep learning curve. Learning to know all the attributes and items and stuff and you're literally dragging and dropping really quick. You're making moves very quick. So, I've been doing it. I've been gaming with my son and a couple of his friends, and even his fiance's playing. And I think something I might start playing once a week regularly. And I'm learning. I bought an app. I guess I have an app that I can pull up to know what the best setups are. It's just a cheat sheet. It's all it is, basically. But I'm really getting into this Teamfight Tactics, and I've always liked like real-time strategy games, and this is kind of like that, but it's on steroids. It's super fast. So I always want to mention that because everybody thinks I just play Destiny.
You just play that on your cell phone, though, right?
No, I play it on PC.
Play Destiny every week.
I play it on PC. That. It's on Steam.
Last week
I did, but I just started playing this, and it's a lot of fun. I actually use a League of Legends server. I guess I click on. I don't know. It's not through. I think I bought. Yeah, no. I did buy the season pass. It was $10. I bought the season because the game's free. I bought the season pass just so I can unlock some cool looking stuff. And I'm gonna throw $10 their way because I'm having a lot of fun with the game. And it's I think I bought that through Steam if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. So there it is. Gatr doesn't just play Destiny now.
Wow.
How about you, Hazel? Anything? Ghost of Tsushima's all done?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima's all done. Well, not all done. I mean, there's still some side quests out there that I could work on and things. But
sure.
No, I'm actually enjoying Game Pass. I'm trying out, fun fact is, so I got the Xbox Series X and Game Pass. And guess what game I have not bought?
I don't know. No games? You haven't bought any?
I haven't bought Destiny.
No, it's free. Comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't need to buy Destiny, and I'm like, this is so weird. Yeah. But yeah, so I haven't bought Destiny. I've bought Mass Effect. I've played that a little bit. Fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I'm playing MLB The Show.
It's great when you don't have to pay for it. You can just sample everything. Like you said, you're gaming promiscuous, right?
Exactly, right. So
do you have Game Pass Ultimate or just Game Pass?
Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play on PC.
So with Game Pass Ultimate, I'm going to throw this out there because you are on PC now. And I was wrong in the Discord that you get EA Play on Xbox and PC. So if you want to play Battlefield 4 on PC with me, guess what? You can download right now.
Do it. We'll never see Hazel the same again.
But that's the cool thing about it is you can also play Sea of Thieves, Grounded,
yes,
Dark Alliance.
I've played Sea of Thieves. I fucking love that.
Dude, it's so much fun with friends. It's solo, it's stupid.
Oh, I know.
But if you have friends in there, that game's a blast. The game is about nothing, but it's a lot of fun.
You're putting your pirate hat on.
Exactly, right.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, my daughter, she was watching me play it, and she's like, "Well, can you do this?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let's find out." So, I mean, we were just out there sailing the seas, and she's like, "This game is awesome."
Dude, yeah, we'll have to get down on some Sea of Thieves because I'll play. I just reinstalled it on my PC tonight. Dude. So with Game Pass Ultimate, you're on Android, right? You have an Android phone.
Yeah.
Have you downloaded the Game Pass app?
Yes, I have.
He's tried it.
Have you played xCloud?
Yes.
How do you like it?
I fucking love it.
Isn't it great?
This is why Xbox.
Guess what
scary.
game you can play on your couch right now?
Sea of Thieves?
Destiny.
2.
Oh, well,
You can
yeah.
play-
I mean, but you need a controller for it, though.
You just sync it to your. It's Bluetooth. You sync it to
your
your phone.
Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I mean, that's what I do. But no, they have other games that are touch. I think
They
Sea
do,
of
yeah.
Thieves
Yeah,
is
use the
touch.
controller, dude. There's actually you can actually buy a bracket that'll put your phone on it, and you can actually play with your controller. And
Right.
I think Jared's got one.
Visual bit
There it is. There's the bracket.
right there.
You can put your
That
phone on
holds-
that and play whatever you want.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
$10 on Amazon, and it just holds. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
That's really
Like
cool.
Yeah,
That is so
So-
cool.
and it just Bluetooths right to your phone, and I think Apple either has it now
I
or
think-
they're getting it. It might be in beta, but Apple is getting it. But
It's coming.
It's going to be a little different on Apple. I think it has to be browser based, and I think
Mm.
Microsoft has to work on some, which is fine. I mean, it's fine because they want any download to go through their app store, which is fine. But I think xCloud on their service is going to be a little different because it's going to be something you open through Safari instead of on the Xbox app. But I like, so some of the things I like playing on xCloud, which I haven't for a long time, but like small little side scrollers like Ori. Ori's a really, really cool game that works great with xCloud. Dead Cells, if you're kind of a Metroidvania, like I love Metroid games and I love Castlevania games, like the old school like side scrollers. Dead Cells is a great game to play on xCloud. Just sit with a controller, put your phone in that little bracket there, and go to town on a little side scroller, just hanging out on your couch.
But more importantly, you can do bounties in Destiny 2 on your phone.
Yeah. No.
They don't work great. Like, you can play Destiny, but I played a public event, like, because I wanted to try things out.
Sure,
when xCloud first came out, I did try Destiny, and it worked. It was fine until the public event went heroic, and then it got really stupid really fast.
Gotcha. So we're not quite there yet.
Not quite. And that could have been my internet speed, but then, and I played Halo. I played a game of Halo SWAT, and it was fine. I think I finished middle of the pack on my team. So it's not perfect. I would say if you're going to use xCloud, play like a single player, like something really, really simple.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that when I was playing xCloud, it was it seemed like there was like a little bit of a delay, like an input delay. So it was like maybe like not even like half a second. It was just
enough to
a
annoy you.
millisecond. Exactly.
It's enough to notice.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I never used it for PvP.
Here's a situation. Here's a situation where I would use that, because I get screens everywhere in my house. I don't need a phone. I'll use my phone to do messages while I'm talking to you guys. I can see my wife going into Target and getting lost in Target, and me being in the car playing with my controller with a little bracket and playing through xCloud. That's where I would use it. Because, otherwise, where else are you going to use it? Unless you're in the city, like you're on a subway going to work or something where you have downtime. But we all drive. So.
I don't.
True. Very true.
I don't.
But you have screens all around you, Hazel. You don't really need a phone attached to a controller, because you can just go to your computer or go to your TV, But hey,
what I was going to ask Hazel, what else he was looking at on Game Pass, if there's anything else.
Ooh, NHL 21 has. I get that NHL 95 vibe from it, and I love it.
That's cool.
I haven't played a hockey game in forever, and I used to follow hockey like way back until like the strike in like early 2000, and then I just gave up on hockey when I found out that it's all about the money basically.
Right,
like every sport.
Are you a Diablo fan?
I tried to be. I don't really care for it though.
Gotcha. The reason I asked, there was one game I was really looking forward to that's on Game Pass that's called The Ascent. It's very Diablo-esque, but it is more of a shooter. It's basically the way people are describing it is Diablo meets Cyberpunk, because it has that kind of futuristic, kind of cyberpunk vibe, but it's very much a kind of a dungeon crawler style game. And that's something that comes out, it looks like July 28th, and that's going to be a day one Game Pass. And then, dude, Grounded, like if you like Sea of Thieves,
yeah, I can't do Grounded.
If you want to play, a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids simulator, Grounded's your jam. But no, you can't do spiders, huh?
I can't. Especially like,
dude, those spiders will fuck you up.
Like they're
scary as shit.
Exactly.
But grounded for what it is super cool. Like me and my daughter had this huge like fort built out of Grounded that we spent days on that thing, and it's a really, really fun game. It's another game that's really about nothing. I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, it's you're a kid, you're small. It's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you are the kid in the backyard. And you're battling against, they just drop you there. You have no idea what's going on, and you have to craft all your armor, all your weapons. You kill bugs for all your armor. Like if you have a full ladybug set, then you have healing powers. You can have a full spider armor set, and you have like poison attributes. But you can also create your bases, so it's a little bit Minecraft-esque. So yeah, it's super cool. Grounded is a lot of fun, unless you have arachnophobia. They do have an arachnophobia mode that makes the spiders just look like a ball. But other than that, the spiders, if you do not like spiders, do not play that game.
Well, I think we can all agree that Xbox is heading in the right direction. And I think this is why we're starting to hear that Sony is like, hey, I think we're going to do crossplay now. I think they're kind of seeing the light that this is really the way it's got to be. You can't stop technology, and you can't stop progression in gaming. You can't stop that stuff. And if you're in the way, you're just going to be a dinosaur and you'll get run over.
Right. I just think that they're both, I mean, I don't know. I think they're both kind of floundering. I mean, I know it doesn't really seem like it, especially with like, these next gen consoles being impossible to get and stuff like that. But I think a lot of them are just trying to find out, like, what's the next step? What's the next thing? And I think they see the writing on the wall that it's like this mythical console that comes out that basically trumps everything.
Right.
And I just think they're
called a PC.
Well, I mean, to a degree, yeah, but you can't really easily connect a PC up to your TV, though.
It's not very mobile either.
It's not mobile, but I mean,
don't worry, something will come out. The chips are only getting
smaller. I don't know,
smaller.
like what was the rumor forever that the newest Xbox was going to be fully upgradable, right? You no longer had to buy a new console. You just replaced the parts as they came out. But I think that's the problem with even building a PC right now, is if you want a new graphics card, you're not going to find it.
No.
I mean, the graphics cards are just as hard to find right now as a new console. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I just feel like it's that no matter what you play, I feel like you're winning. Like I would, just like you're starting to see, I get it. It's a sports game, and that's the first game that we saw on Xbox, and but it was a Sony first party game. MLB The Show was a first party Sony game forever, and was on Xbox Game Pass day one. And I would love to see. You know what? I would love to see those guys that are hardcore PlayStation fans be able to play Halo or Gears of War or those games that you've seen, and be able to play those maybe on a PlayStation someday. And if Game Pass is that avenue, then so be it, because Game Pass, like they're obviously coming to Apple products via Safari. So what would be I don't know if the PlayStation 5 has it, but could you eventually sign up for Xbox Game Pass and play it through a browser on your PS5? Could you do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think is really cool is we're starting to finally bridge that gap between the, the quote unquote fanboys, like those hardcore people. And I think it's really cool because we could finally start playing together. And, I like someone like Uncle Scumdeath. Like I would fucking love to game with Scumdeath. I would love it.
He'd be just great.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I gamed with Mosh and Mac. Like, I played Warzone with Mosh and Mac. One time he was on his PlayStation and I was on PC.
Right.
So it's very, very possible. I would just like to see it. It's cool that it's becoming more widespread.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're heading in the right direction. Just leave it at that. I think we have a TWAB we need to go over, Hazel. So why don't we do that? So I believe it is time for this week at Bungie. All right, this week at Bungie, week 7. What's going on in Bungie this week, Hazel?
All right, so the Endless Night ramped up. So the tower is now in full dark mode. In case you didn't know, we've already talked about it. We got taken blights in the fucking tower, FYI. Shit's going nuts. We got apparently people singing Savathun's song. The world is falling. We're all Chicken Little. Aside from that, Grandmaster Nightfalls came out. We've got the Glassway this week, previously. And not many people were happy with that because the Glassway is a bitch to do.
Yes, it is.
I have no idea. Don't care. Next after that is new weapons are coming back. New old weapons. Or old weapons with at least one new perk. So the moon weapons were coming back. We got the Loud Lullaby. What was the one? The Arc Logic auto rifle, which was kind of decent to use.
That's a great auto rifle. I can't wait to get that one.
Yep. Basically everything on the moon's coming back with the new perks like Killing Wind, Chain Reaction, Adrenaline Junkie, Frenzy, stuff like that. Dreaming City weapons, the rest of those are coming out now. Yes. Finally. The fucking Tiger Spite is back.
The Twilight Oath. Yes.
Yeah.
Sniper
and that's
rifle.
going to come back with the Vorpal.
Oh.
So that's going to be nasty.
Super killer.
Exactly. So, there's all of that. Iron Banner next week.
Yes.
Which Gatr already talked about.
Already geared one up. Already got one grouped up in our Discord 100.io. Full group already.
Sexy. Then after that, Shit's Broken. And we have movies, art, and a cat that Gatr found before.
I found it before any of you guys, now that I know to look for it. All right.
Yep.
Sounds like the good old Hazel I know. Good deal. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was a quick TWAB this week because you know what? We got a great number of questions from our community again.
We do?
Yeah.
We have questions?
We might
Did you know this, H? When did this happen?
We might have.
I didn't realize people ask questions in this Discord.
We might have a few. We'll see if I can scrounge a few up. We'll do that.
Gatr is having a panic attack at the number of questions.
I can't pen anymore. I hate that. My ADD doesn't allow me to process that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do that right after this.
Hey Guardians, would you like to send us a question for the show? Well, there's 4 ways to do it.
Number 1, join our Discord server. There's a join link in our show notes. We have some great gamers in there, by the way. And you can just lurk, or hang out, or jump right in and talk with us. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show.
You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com or We also tweet out almost every week about our upcoming show, guest, and you can respond there with your questions at Guardian_D_cast is our Twitter handle.
Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your questions at speakpipe.com/GuardianDowncast. Remember, that's all one word. And we'll play it on the show for you guys.
SpeakPipe is honestly my favorite thing. But anyway, thank you for all you guys do, and toddles.
And later, Guardian. All right, boys and girls, it's that time of the week. This is where we answer questions from our community. My favorite part, other than the interview, of course. But we have, first, we have a speak pipe from Mr. Sweaty Spooks with the Guardians Ghost Cast. So let's see what he has to say.
Good afternoon, Guardians, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Guardian Downcast. We absolutely love these guys. Sweaty Spooks here. So, a couple weeks ago, I didn't have a whole lot of time to be playing some Destiny, and I just jumped back in, went straight into Crucible, and I came out with some sort of ridiculous kill-death ratio of like 4.5 or something like that, and something like 30 kills. I was very proud of myself. I didn't think I had it in me, especially after a long break. Can you guys remember a time when you jumped into a Crucible match and you surprised yourself? Love the show, guys. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Sweaty Spooks, for that question. You think of something, H?
I guess this season, Crucible right now is so hit and miss. So you're either getting smashed or it's feast or famine, basically. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I had went in, I guess last week is my most recent example. I went in with really, really, really low expectations, and all 3 games I played really, really well, and finished kind of middle to top of the pack. I mean, not top, but kind of the upper end of the middle. So, yeah.
Okay. Hazel, what about you, man?
Nice. Me, I mean, I am self-admitted, like, I don't really like Crucible. I don't play Crucible, that kind of stuff. But I did actually surprise the shit out of myself way back when we had like a Senate Nomad on and patty cakes and that, because I was actually like implementing some of the stuff that they were talking about, like lane next to cover and 3-second rule, and I mean, I was just implementing all of this stuff, and for like 6 games in a row, I didn't drop below like a 2 KD. So I was like, holy shit. So so that really surprised me, and then pretty much I ended up taking like a month off and forgotten everything that I learned before. So yeah, now I'm trash.
Right, I get it. There'll be many times when I'm playing with a group in Iron Banner, and that's the only thing that comes up right now, where I'll go, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I really hurt the team there. I didn't do too well at all, and I'm still getting a 2 or something, and a decent amount of kills. It just, you get those games, it just seems like everything's coming to you a little bit more difficult than normal, and it's like you're struggling, but you actually held your own. You actually did better than you thought, and that would be the time when, that would happen for me. Happens a lot in Crucible. I'll go, guys, I'm sorry. I blew that game. We lost by 2 points. That's my bad. And then I realized that I actually held my own. I actually did okay. So I get surprised like that every now and then. Let's go to Discord, Hazel. Let's start grabbing some out of the Discord pinned questions.
Hey.
And H, I mean, you're a regular dude. If you see something in there, raise your hand, dude, and we'll read it out.
Okay, so let's get some of these low-hanging fruit here. So, I think we already know the answer to this one, but we'll go with it anyway. Golden God, question for the show: iPhone or Android?
Well, it's obvious. Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
I've had both. They're both fine. They're both almost exactly the same. I don't get the fanboy shit.
You know, it's funny you should say that. My parents have an Android phone. I have no clue how to use it. I mean, I don't know how to use it. I know how a phone functions, but as far as opening it and doing, passwords and stuff, I'm so used to iPhone. I've had nothing but iPhones all my adult life ever since the The damn pod, what is it? The Apple iPod came out. I used to have Apple iPods. I've been an Apple guy for a long time. So it's always been Apple for me. And we already know Hazel's answer, but go ahead, Hazel.
Jeez, damn.
Sorry.
So yeah, I was an Apple guy for a while. And then to tell you how long I've had cell phones, basically. But I had an Apple up until they came out with Siri. That was supposed to be like the next big thing and everything else. And I was like, I don't fucking, like, this doesn't even interest me as Siri. So I just went ahead and was like, all right, I'm going to switch. And I went to Samsung and Android, and I've never looked back.
Yeah, I had an Android from I guess it was the OG Android, like the Motorola, that like the big thing that you could hold it in your fist and like knock someone out with it.
The brick, yeah.
And then I had that up until the iPhone, I think 4, and I had the iPhone 4 until the 5S or the 6, I can't remember. And then after that, I switched to Samsung, and I had an S9, and I loved it. I honestly, I didn't have a hard transition. There's things I'm back on iPhone now. I had the S9 up until the iPhone 11. And I like my iPhone 11, but the S9, like, it's still, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, they both do things really well. They both have their faults. I really like Apple's ecosystem, and I like their privacy. I like Android's customization. I wish iPhone would get some of their customization back. I think it's silly that I can't put an app where I want to on the screen. That seems silly that Apple's going to control that for me, but whatever. I mean, like I said, they're basically the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Apple does do really, really, really good with keeping your shit safe and private, and I really appreciate that about them. And we got my daughter a cell phone for the first time this year at 13. And I love their ecosystem and their controls that they have to be able to monitor your child's usage. On their own device, and so that's really cool.
That's great.
That's something that, as a parent, like, maybe the younger kids don't care about that, but when you start having older kids and you have to think about getting cell phones for your kids, that's something you got to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Another one we have, this is low-hanging fruit as well, and this is from Rye for short. This is hot dog a sandwich? Why or why not? I think we've answered this one all the way back to Dad's Tales, haven't we?
I don't know. Hot dog a sandwich.
It's bread and meat, right?
I know, it's a taco.
I don't know.
Is a taco a sandwich?
No.
Why? I'm not going to have this discussion. Move on. Let's go. Let's go. We're never going to finish. No.
We're fine. What's that, Jay?
Did you say we have 36 questions?
Yeah, we have a lot of questions tonight. Okay.
What are you talking about?
I was using my soundboard. Only the fans can hear that. But Jay, it's a soundbite where Jay goes, "Do we really have 30 questions?"
That's funny.
Anyway, I wish you guys could hear it. I'm working on it.
I'm sure that would have been funny.
I'm working on it.
Instead of just randomly shouting out, "Jay, what was that?"
Yeah. Well, if I do that, you'll know that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, great. Okay.
What else we got?
All right. I like this one. Let's go with it.
All right.
Rye for short also asks, question for the show. What secret conspiracy would you like to start?
Oh boy.
Man, I don't know that I would start one, but I would just like to continue the conspiracy that birds are not people, they're drones issued by the government.
I like that theory. I like that theory. I do.
Shout out to Burning Wing.
And what did he say? The reason they had the pandemic is so they could go and put the new batteries in all the birds.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. That was funny as hell, man.
I subscribe to that shit.
Oh man, what about? What's conspiracy? Jeez, pick a topic, right? We all have conspiracy. I mean, there's so much. I've never seen so many conspiracies come to light today in media or public media, whatever, than today. Shit. You have one, Hazel? I'm not really big into conspiracy stuff.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Yeah. The one I'd like to start is that Gatr does not play Destiny.
Oh, wow. That would be a conspiracy. I'm in a Destiny podcast and I've never played the game before. I've got Google.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you don't play anymore. That you're just like,
Okay. No, yeah. I've got Google like at my fingertips here. What's a grid skipper? Oh yeah. The new grid skipper. Yeah. Geez, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be real, man.
I know.
Shit, most of the conspiracy theories are fucking whacked out anyway.
They are whacked out. I'm sure a couple have crossed my mind. Oh man,
I feel like I'm the only one that understood the question.
I understand the question, but I can get in so much trouble here.
Make one up.
I think that well, I'll give my diesel in my 6-liter diesel in my Ford work truck. They put the cooler on the inside of the engine, and I swear I think car makers do shit backwards just so they have to bring them to the dealers to get them fixed. And maybe that is a truism. I don't know if it is or not, but that's a conspiracy that I actually cling to sometimes. Anyway, let's go with another one. I'm scatterbrained on that question for some reason. It's thrown me. Let's go with. Okay, this one's from Teox. Question for the show. What's the weirdest mobile game you've played on your phone? Weirdest mobile game.
That's from. He changed his name. That's from Laz.
I know it's Laz, but I called him Tao last week, and I got
Why?
shit. Why
called
him.
Did he change his name?
Because he likes to mess with me.
Well, it's lore.
Okay.
No, it's lore.
He's into.
Teox is a character in Destiny.
Yeah, he's playing
Gatr.
He's playing the lore card this season, I guess. Weirdest mobile game on your phone. Anybody got an answer for this?
I do. H, go first.
I don't. Man, shut up, dude. My dog is talking. She's chatty. Weirdest mobile game. I don't know. Come back to me on that one. I gotta think.
I mean, it's an easy answer for me. Is I don't really play mobile games. I mean, the only mobile game I can think I've played is Bejeweled, Chess with Friends, Words with Friends, and maybe Tetris. That's all I've ever played on my phone. I'm not a big mobile phone guy when it comes to gaming. I'd rather play my games on a big 28-inch monitor at 4K. So that's my answer.
I guess if I had to pick a mobile game, I don't know if I have a weird one, but I had like a skateboarding game on Apple Arcade, like Skate City or something, that was dude, it was super fun but kind of tough. I don't know. I guess that's the one that I don't know about weird, but it was interesting for sure. Like, it kept my attention for a little bit, but I'm kind of the same. I don't play a lot of mobile games.
All right, Hazel, what do you got?
Yeah. So I pretty much the same thing here. I don't play too many. Well, actually, the only one that I do play right now is COD Mobile. I cannot stop playing that for some reason.
I don't know how you can play Call of Duty on a mobile phone. That just seems so weird. I don't know. How do you compete with other players when you're using a phone? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, sometimes you get owned just because they're using a controller.
Right.
But it's actually pretty fun, actually.
Okay.
But it's fun getting the nuke, too, by the way.
What?
But
You get 25 kills without dying?
yeah, I've gotten the nuke like 4 or 5 times.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even do that on console.
Let me hide my surprise. But the game that I was going to say, though, is called Incredibox. It's a weird thing where basically there's it's like a beatboxing video game. Or a game. So there's like these guys, and they basically, like, my daughter loves this game, but it's like these guys and they don't have shirts on. So you put on different shirts and then they make different beatboxing sounds.
Oh, wow.
And then you can make your own music basically using this.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Most mobile games are pretty simple because, I mean, they can't be too deep because they take up too much phone storage. Let's face it, phone storage is precious. But,
Not really, but
no?
at least not for me anyway.
Now, with Android phones, can you put expandable storage in it? Or do you have to buy the phone with the storage already in it?
No, you can put expandable storage
See,
in.
Apple doesn't do that. You have to shell out the bucks if you want a 128 gig phone storage space. You got to pay for it up front. That's the one thing I hate about Apple's.
I don't miss those days.
I don't miss them either, and I don't miss them now.
When have you ever? So even when I was on Android, I never ran out of space,
Really?
and I never had to buy a memory card. When I've been on Apple, I've never ran out of space, and I've never obviously I can't buy a memory card.
Well, the reason I run out of memory space is my music collection is so large, and it keeps updating from the cloud and keeps loading up on my phone. And I know I shouldn't do that, but I like being able to play on demand if I have an internet signal or not. And it takes a lot. It's a big music collection. It takes a lot of storage. So, and then you can download videos from YouTube. That's a lot of space. If I'm telling you,
Download videos from YouTube.
No, I'm serious. Sometimes I'll want to hear like a 2-hour podcast, like
Don't you
say
have 5G in Florida.
Yeah, but I have 5G AT&T, and I tell you what,
I listen to a 3-hour podcast all the time, and I stream that shit.
I usually stream it, but you'll be surprised. There's areas in Florida where you get no signal. There's one really high-end neighborhood I'll go into where there's no cell signal anywhere in this neighborhood. And as soon as you run outside the gates of this neighborhood, your cell signal's not strong, but it does come back where you can use it. And for moments like that, when I'm on a lawn, treating a lawn for an hour, I don't want to have to worry about fighting lack of phone signal. So, all right, Hazel, let's...
Hey, no, I got one.
All right, what's
I'm
up?
throw you guys off.
Go for it.
This is a throwback right here. This is an old one. Question for the show. L1, L2, R1, R2, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up. What is this for? What does it grant you?
Don't you dare wait for my answer, Hazel.
I'm waiting for your answer. You are answering first.
I just play Destiny, dude.
I just play Destiny. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm trying to L2. Dude, it's been so long since I played games with cheats like this. I don't know.
It's definitely from Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I didn't play that game much. That's probably
And
why.
I think it's all
Infinite Money?
weapons.
Or-
I think it's all weapons. All weapons, all ammo.
Really?
Maybe man. I just saw it. It's definitely a Grand Theft Auto, but I think it's all weapons. I think it's all weapons in
all
All
cars?
Grand Theft Autos did that? No, it's all weapons. I think it's Vice City.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's like weapons and ammo.
Oh,
for
this
Vice
is an
City.
older
Vice City.
game.
Vice City was one that really had a lot of codes. Like Vice City, to me, was one that I loved. Vice City, that shit was the bomb. Dude, it was such a fun game. I would take a remaster if you're gonna remaster a Grand Theft Auto game. Give me Vice City.
Why? They're still making money on their current one.
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't give a shit, dude. Vice City was fun. Vice City was the 80s. Like, Vice City was Miami in the 80s.
It's one of the games I did play.
So it was so much fun.
But I don't remember. I
think-
never used codes like this.
I'm pretty sure pretty sure. Right for short, I believe is who has that one.
That was him.
And I think that it's like weapons and ammo for Vice City. I know it's definitely a Grand Theft Auto game.
You agree, Hazel?
I would say sure because it does sound familiar. I don't know. I keep thinking it's Infinite Money. I don't know why.
Well, that could be. I remember that glitch.
Yeah, that was one. They had all kinds of them, dude. Like, you could spawn tanks. Like, you could do whatever you wanted.
Jeez.
Grand Theft Auto is great. Such a good game.
Nice.
All right, Hazel. Let's keep rolling, man. What else we got?
Okay. So...
He's Googling that move right now.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. Visual bit. All right.
All right. Here we go. All right.
And right for shorts on fire. I got another one here.
Oh, Golden God's got a bunch.
Sneaky
Snake's got a bunch.
Yep. Okay. Sneaky Snake, aka Tickle Tongue. Question for the show. Best game on Roblox.
What's a Roblox?
I was just gonna say that. I didn't want to be the first person to say it.
Is. I think my kid. I don't know. I've never played it. My daughter, she plays it occasionally. She doesn't all the time, but she used to have like I think she had like a cops and robbers type game that she used to play. It was always, I was like, what are you doing? Like, and like, she'd like, oh, I'm trying to hide from the cops. I'm like, are you playing Grand Theft Auto on fucking Roblox? Like, what are you doing? And then her cousin in Roblox, I don't know if this was like a certain game or just the sandbox in general, but her cousin recreated her entire house in Roblox. And I thought that was kind of cool.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't the foggiest idea. I would say if you're curious about that, I would refer you to Elmer Fudd's podcast with his daughter that he did.
Oh, yeah,
where
there
they
you
talk
go.
about Roblox.
True. All right, we'll keep it rolling here. This is from Sneaky Snake. This is an old question. I'm trying to get some of the ones that have been asked a while. Question for the show. Do you feel like it's harder to meet new people and start dating now that everything is done online? I think there's an app for everything now, and you look at like a weirdo if you actually try to talk to someone face to face. Man, that is a good question. What do you guys think? I mean, we're all taken, but
I think dating's very hard, especially when you're married.
Particularly hard, yes.
I would agree.
I mean, but
I don't know.
I guess he's looking for advice here.
Yeah, no, I get it. Man, I don't know. I think that I don't know, nothing beats that person-on-person interaction, but at the same time, like the first time I ever talked to Tammy, my significant other, was over Facebook Messenger. Like, it was just something we just started. We had a mutual friend, and her friend kind of played matchmaker, and we just started texting, via like Facebook, really. I mean, so,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but I guess I kind of, my spouse comes from the internet, I guess, kind of in a way.
That's good.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, I guess I got to know my wife or girlfriend then through Instant Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger. Fun fact, my username was Mother Nature Took My Afro. Yeah.
That's a sound clip.
So
That's the title of the show.
That's exactly the title.
But yeah, I mean, that was just, I got to know her personality first instead of, possibly like meeting her and completely and utterly like fucking that up and then never seeing her again. So
There was no option to swipe left or right, I guess, is what you're saying.
Well, no,
You
there
actually
wasn't.
had to chat.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, hey, what are you doing? Not much. What about you?
Well, okay. I met my wife in the very latest part of the 80s. Like
Probably at like an ice cream shop.
80, no, god damn you. It was like 89. I want to say 89.
He was passing her in her crib.
It was like 89, I think. And you know how I met my wife? My sister
said Goo Goo Gaga.
My sister set me up on a blind date with her. My sister was good friends with her, and she realized how much alike she was to me. And I was just coming out of a really bad relationship, girlfriend thingy. And I was pretty down in the dumps. And my sister, I love her to death. She saw my pain, and we were all still living at home by then. And she goes, you need to meet this girl named Jennifer. She's a good friend of mine. I think you guys will gel. And we went to the movie theater, and I can still remember the movie we saw. We saw Gross Anatomy with Matthew Modine. And I remember looking over at her in the movie theater and saying, she's kind of cute. I don't want to be too obvious here, but yeah. And that's how I'm still married to this day. So
Gatr cutting the hole in the old popcorn.
Cut a hole in the box.
I've met them both. I've met you and your wife, and you guys are both fantastic.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I joke.
I get it, and I love your family too, man. I don't know if most of the listeners haven't realized is me and AgentAech have actually met IRL. So we actually went on an airboat ride with his family was down visiting, and I got to meet some of the youngins, and yeah,
Poor guy. You and your wife showed up, and there was like 30 of us.
We were surrounded. Like, what do we get ourselves into?
You walked in.
I walked in. I was like,
oh god,
oh boy.
I was like, hey, just be warned. Like, there's a lot of fucking people.
I didn't care. We had been talking, and it was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
right, I got one here.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got a follow up real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh Lord.
So, what?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, all right. So tomorrow happens, and you're single in one way or another. Okay. And you have to, you're dating again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I would first reach out to my friend network. Problem is, most of my friends are married and have kids, so they're not really around any single girls, single people. So I guess that would fail.
Divorcees, probably.
Who?
Divorcees.
Yeah, I guess at my age, man, God, it's rough. At my age, it's really rough dating. I mean, usually you get people who've been out of, well, like I am. I'm single again, I would be terrified to be single again, but I mean, I don't, you know how my son met his fiance? It was through friends. His friends really liked his fiance, and they set him up, just like I was set up by my sister. I would say the best way to meet people is through your friends, especially if your friends are still single. Don't listen to me because I'm old and gray, and I really can't add much to this conversation.
No, it's a good thought, though. I like that.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Like, fine, just I guess if you got friends, your friends know people. Your friends' spouses know people that are single. Like, all your friends are going to try to play.
And they've already been pretty much pre-approved. I mean, because if they're bad people, they're not going to recommend them to you. So I would say that would be my answer.
Nice. Yeah, my answer would be Tinder. All right. H.
Let's see. From my guy, my bro, Uncle Scumdeath. If you warned your 17-year-old stepdaughter against trying to skateboard for the first time, she comes home with a massive grazed knees and elbows, would you laugh your ass off like I did? Or are you a nicer person than me? The reason I picked this question is because this happened to my stepdaughter. So Avery wants a skateboard. I don't know where it came from. She wants a skateboard, not a longboard. I actually reached out to Justin from DTP from Dad Tales, and I was like, "Hey, dude, my daughter wants a skateboard. Like, I might be asking you for some advice here." Anyway, she like, so we're in Walmart, and she like they have some skateboards there, and I'm like, kid, don't put that on the ground and stand on it because the floor is fucking slick there. And she's wearing slides. And so what does she do? Not listen to her dad. And she puts the skateboard down. She stands on it. And like not even half a second later, just like out of a freaking movie, like loses the skateboard. It goes flying across the aisle. She falls, lands on her butt. Luckily, she didn't hit her head, and I'm just like, and at the moment, I'm freaking out because I'm like, holy shit, that's a hard fall because she bit it hard. And then once I'm like, I kind of chuckled like, are you okay? And once I realized that she didn't hit her head and stuff, I kind of laughed at her. But then it was like parent mode kind of kicked in where it's like, dude, like you can't ride a skateboard on this floor. This floor is slick. It's meant to be slick. Like you can't do that. But there was a brief moment where I chuckled because it was like it looked funny as shit.
Would you laugh, Hazel?
Yes, of course.
I got pretty traumatized with stuff I did stupidly as a kid. I once went head over on a 10-speed bike hauling ass, like at 30 miles an hour. I hit the front brake accidentally and flipped all the way over, blew the breath out of me and everything. And I remember my mom came and she took care of me, and that's for life, man. That's a bond. You'll never forget that story. I don't think I would ever laugh, but I would, I'd be the dad in the situation. I'm like, well, you learned your lesson, right? Stuff hurts. You're not invincible. That's how I would probably approach it. Whose turn is it? Is it yours, Hazel, or mine?
I believe it's yours.
Okay. I got one from Golden God. I'm trying to go back to the old questions here. If you could go to one place in time, where would it be and why? Deep question.
Man, I don't know. Probably any place in time. Man, I'd like to say the 80s or 90s, but I lived those. I'd probably go back further. I don't know. 60s, 70s. See how it was for, maybe my parents. See how things were for my parents. See how they grew up. What challenges they faced.
Drive by my house and I wave. Right?
Yeah. See, you aged yourself. We don't have to do that for you.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, I think a little farther back than the 80s and 90s. I mean,
Okay.
It'd be cool to relive the 80s because I was born in 81, so the first few years were kind of a blur. But I don't know. I'd say like mid 70s to mid 80s probably would be kind of cool.
Those are good times. Yeah.
See what happened before me, and then see what I missed out on, as I was growing up.
Yeah. Good answer. Hazel.
That answer.
What would you answer, Hazel?
Well, H, fun fact, I was born in 81 also.
Did you guys just become best friends?
Exactly.
Level 40 bros.
Exactly.
You're not getting older, you're just leveling up.
Yep. My answer would have to be the 50s. I've always wanted to experience the whole Grease vibe and things like that,
Oh yeah. That's definitely interesting. It's like an innocence back then. Oh, maybe not. We weren't there, so we can't say for sure. Damn, you could have so many answers. Yeah. You could have so many answers for this. And you know what I would like to do? I would like to go back and relive high school. I know that sounds like a terrible idea, but I was so deathly shy when I was in high school. I missed so many opportunities to date other girls. I was a sports jock that was geeky band music player and shy as hell. I was the quiet big guy on playing football and stuff. I really didn't talk to many people except to my small group of friends I hung out with. And I can think back to at least 5 girls I really wanted to say hi to and ask out for a date. And I was just too chicken shit to do it. And that's a regret I still live with to this day. And maybe my life would be different, but not saying I don't love my life. I love my life. But one thing I've realized, I'm reading a book now about humans, and they're talking about how far we've come from Neanderthals and stuff. And I know it's common knowledge about that, but do you realize how much of a blink of an eye in time we are right now, and how we're not even going to matter in 50 years, 70 years, 100 years?
fucking uplifting as shit.
No, and I have a positive bend to this. Live your life. Enjoy your life while you're alive. As you get older, you start to think about things like this, especially the younger people that are in our Discord and listening to this podcast. Don't be so stressed. Go for it. Don't have regrets. And just live your life and enjoy it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail either.
Yes, fail big. You know how many people have failed big? The most successful people in the world right now have failed majorly. Don't be afraid to fail. Anyway, important public service announcement from the Gatr. All right, let's go a few more here, guys.
All right, I got one here. What is, from my boy, again, Uncle Scumdeath, what is the most stressful game you've ever played? Mine is Bloodborne.
Oh, boy.
And Hazel, with him being new to the Xbox realm and game, I think it's on Game Pass. Maybe it's not, but dude, fucking Cuphead.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that,
dude. Cuphead. So I played a lot of games like that as a kid, where there's severe punishment for not finishing it. Right. Like if you die, you're dead. You got to start over or whatever.
Mario.
But like as an adult. And you, I don't know why, but Cuphead like infuriated me more than any other game ever. And like I think the last time I played it, I was probably, I don't know, in late 30s, but still, like, even that old, like, wanting to actually physically throw my controller through the fucking TV at that game. I'm like, why is this so difficult? And so probably Cuphead. I think a strong second place would be Overcooked 2. If you've never played it, if you've never played Overcooked with your family, that game is going to either make or break your family or make or break some friendships. Like Fluffy says all the time, like, it's a fun game to drink to. Fuck that. Like, there's no way in hell I would drink and play that game because I would get so pissed off. So that's another game that I think would frustrate the hell out of me would be Overcooked, but Cuphead is probably my number one answer.
Hazel?
God. Man, Overcooked. Oh, yeah. My wife and I tried that for all of probably 10 minutes, and we found out that we don't communicate very well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we turned that off real quick. Most stressful game? I mean, I probably have to go with Bloodborne also. I mean, actually, I'll go with Hades. I'll go with that instead. Mm-hmm. So, this is a, what do they call this? I fucking forget now. It's a roguelike. So basically, it's like you get one life and you get to go through all of this and everything else. And the further and further you get in the game, the enemies get harder and harder and harder. And it's just like you get one life. If you die, you have to start all the way over and go through it all over again. So,
my answer is every coin-operated game ever in the 1980s. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga, Frogger, Miss Pac-Man, Tetris, you name it. You put your quarter in, you had 3 lives, and when you were done, you were done. There was no save points, none of that stuff. I mean, yeah, if you put another quarter in, you can continue to play. But when you put that quarter in, you were like, okay, a quarter is a lot of money back in the 80s when you were a kid. And even Atari Donkey Kong, Nintendo, playing Nintendo Donkey Kong, if you failed that board, you just had to start all over again. And the games were so unforgiving, and that's why when I thought you were going to say Cuphead. Cuphead is very much like all the games that we started playing as kids back in the 80s. There's no save points you can come back to the next day. You had one shot, and what you ended up doing is you memorized how to play the game. That's how Cuphead is too. You memorized every move. You knew where every little teapot was going to go, everything. So, yeah. I got one from Jealous the Kid. Question for the show. Bungie comes out and makes an announcement that they're going to take a 1 to 2 year break of pumping out content. Patches and holiday events will still occur, he says, to focus on a bigger project for Destiny. Would you accept this? Also, would you keep playing?
I mean, yeah, because I would accept it because you don't need to pump out new content every single year. Would I keep playing? Probably not, because I don't keep playing now. But I mean, a few examples, and maybe again, I've been wrong before, but other MMO style games or MMOs like World of Warcraft, they don't put out a new expansion every year, do they?
I don't know. I don't play.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games that don't put out a new expansion or new content every year, but they have like seasonal events, and people still keep playing it. And I mean, so that's fine. I mean, if that means that they are, best example would be, look at a game like Borderlands, and whether you like Borderlands or not, Borderlands is a looter shooter. There was a huge gap between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3.
Oh yeah, there was.
Like, there's a big gap between those, but a lot of people still played. Like, they didn't do seasonal events and this and that and the other, but a lot of people still played Borderlands 2. I mean, it had a lot of replayability. So, I mean, yeah, I'd be 100% okay with that.
Yeah. I remember playing Borderlands several times after I finished the campaign. Just kept playing. What do you think, Hazel?
I don't know. I mean, if they weren't doing story content and stuff like that, I would probably bounce off until they release something.
Yeah, I know you're into the story. I would probably still play PvP. I gotta... When there was content droughts in Destiny 1, I still played. I was one of the diehard players that played every day, every week. Even with no new content, I would find a way to make the game fun to play. I would challenge myself to do something. It changed all the time, but yeah, I would probably still play. And I don't know if I'd be okay with it 2 or 3 years. That's a long time. Because
I think it would be fine because of stuff like this. Because there's still people that have D1 installed, and there's still people that play Destiny 1. Like, what new content is there for Destiny 1?
There's zero support.
There's still people that play. Look at fucking Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
like, people still play the shit out of GTA 5.
They make money hand over fist.
And exactly, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I think people will still play it because, just because my opinion of Crucible isn't very high, people love it. Like, people still play it, and I think that is a good, like, it just goes to show a good PvP. That is an activity that will stand the test of time, and the same thing with raids. Like, their raids are fun, and people will still do them just to play the same raid. But examples I give of games that haven't put out anything, Grand Theft Auto's still out there. They still do like seasonal event type stuff. Red Dead 2, that game's been out for a few years. They haven't really put out any new, they've done no new story expansions. The same with GTA. GTA has done no new story expansions. Like, all their stuff is online and people still play it, and they're still profiting. Yeah. So it's one of the top earning games every year.
It's crazy. I don't know how they keep
old.
people.
Like, the game's old as shit.
I know.
They finally announced they're no longer supporting 360 and PS4.
You believe that? That's crazy.
Or 360 and PS3. Right?
Yeah.
Was it 360?
No, it was the PS3 and 360.
Yeah. So PS3 and 360.
That's crazy.
Think about how long that game's been out that they finally had to say, we are no longer going to support the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
And think of the money they're throwing away there, because they still get money from most people too.
Dude, and they're making
Oh,
bank.
that game makes crazy money.
Yeah, it's
Probably because it
pretty
mimics
wild.
real life. You know, it mimics real life, and you're playing other players.
I hope it doesn't mimic real life, but it probably
Well,
does. 'Cause
I mean,
it's fucking wild.
Well, it
Maybe in
mimics.
Florida.
No, it mimics.
Yeah.
It mimics.
Florida.
It mimics real life, but it's things you would never do in real life that you could get away with in this world. That's why. That's what's the appeal of it, right?
It's got its place. That's
You can
what-
go and punch and kill a prostitute and not be worried about what's going to happen. You know, it's things like that. It's a big draw for a lot of people.
Punching and killing prostitutes.
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah,
that
dude.
escalated quickly.
Exactly.
Well, that's
what you think of.
No, that's
Nice.
just, you hear about it all
Wow.
the time. You hear about it all the time. I mean,
You do?
oh, I mean,
This isn't
no,
like-
wait, no. Hold on, H, you got to back me up here, man. Vice City, you wouldn't go punch some, let's just say, girl for hire on the side of the street and just keep running, keep walking. You did it. You did it. Look at me in the eyes. You did it
No, no, I didn't. Like I don't. That's not my jam.
too.
But,
All right.
I mean, sure.
You want to? You would? Yeah,
That's
but
what
you didn't. No, come on. You didn't push the limits of the game. Come on.
Well, yeah, I pushed the limits, but I don't know, man.
I did everything when I played Vice City. I did everything I could because it's not real.
Yeah, it's not real for sure. I mean, that's a whole nother tangent. But
Let's
Yeah,
get
I-
off.
I
Let's
get
get
what
off
you're-
that
I- yeah, I
tangent.
get you- I get what you're saying.
Let's get off.
But no,
that
I just want to say though, I mean, you're saying that it's like in the news and stuff like this. This isn't 2002, man.
No, I didn't say it was in the news. I just said it was. It's something we all stole the car. We know we ran over people. I mean, you did all that stuff in
I've never
Vice City.
meant to run over people.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried about Gatr.
Okay, you guys are sons of bitches. All right, fine. All right. You're telling me you didn't steal a car and run over people and just keep on running, just keep on going.
No, I intentionally tried to keep the car on the damn road.
I mean,
that's where the car goes.
that's true, but people
I
would
did
walk.
that. I
People would
know.
walk in front of you. You gonna stop for him? Sometimes I would.
No,
Depends
fuck
what
no.
mood I was in.
I run over everybody in every video game. I play.
Exactly.
If it has humans in it, I run.
Exactly. All right, you guys got me so riled up.
I draw the line at punching prostitutes, though. What kind of animal are you?
You know you did. You know you did. All right. All right. One more each, and we're done. One more each.
All right. So, Chubby Wizard, question for the show. Have you ever opened your phone and found an empty space where an app used to be? If yes, did you figure out what the app was that disappeared? This just happened to me, and I have no clue what the app was. Thanks. Love the show.
Does he have an iPhone, I wonder?
No, that's an Android problem
That's never had that problem on iPhone.
because iPhone just replaces that fucking app with the next one in the line because
Yeah.
that's how they are.
Auto updates.
So yes. So what happened? What to me? So I'll give you two examples. One on iPhone, one on Android. So the other day, like the way I have my iPhone home screen set up, I've got two widgets, top left and bottom right, and then I've got all my apps. Well, my app next to my bottom right widget was different, and it's one that I always use, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
And all I had to do was like swipe to the right, and then I saw the app there. So that was one thing. On Android, I did accidentally remove an app. I don't remember what the app was, but I did eventually figure it out. But yeah, that has happened to me, and I did figure it out both times, both systems, both phones, whatever.
Has this ever happened to you? Hey, I'm starting to worry about Chubby, how much electricity he's been touching lately. This has never happened to me before. I've never turned on my phone. I mean, let's face it, I'm old school. I keep all my apps in the same place. I move them every now and then, but I have a main screen that has all my apps on it. And I put them in widgets too. I put them in groups, but I don't really use a lot of apps on my phone. I have my basic apps that I use, and it's never happened to me. I don't know if it's a Android thing or what, Chubby, but I don't know. Hazel.
I think it's different. I think it's because it's you and you alone. Whereas myself, this happens all the time.
Really?
Yeah. the reason why is because my daughter uses my phone sometimes.
Oh.
So she's gotten rid of whole fucking folders that I've had on my phone.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I don't even know what was in that folder. I have no idea.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've had whole folders disappear.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. Yeah, I'm very protective.
A little concerning.
Nobody touches my phone. I'm very protective of it. I mean, I use it for my business. It's a lot of sensitive information in there. So everyone has their own phone. Don't touch my phone. Thank you very much. Okay.
I'll punch you like a prostitute.
All right, that was your question. You still have one, right, Brandon? Sorry, Jared.
Brandon.
Well, I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Brandon. Jared,
You did.
I know it's twice. It's twice, dude. It's because it's late. It's because it's late. And I know a Brandon also. Yeah, let's do one more, Jared, and then I'll close out.
Let's see. Season. Let's go with Golden God. Question for the show: what is your favorite Nintendo games? My favorite are the Pokemon series and Zelda. So I would say the same thing. Like, probably I've said for a long time, and I will still say this, and it's confusing. I'm probably gonna make some people mad, but my favorite video game, not Nintendo, my favorite video game franchise of all time is Zelda. I love the Zelda series a lot. I have finished, I'm not kidding, I've only ever finished one of them.
Me too. I played the original one.
And no, I never finished the original.
I never finished the original. Either.
Really?
The only one I've ever finished was Wind Waker. Wind Waker I did beat all the way through. I played all the way through Wind Waker. But that is the only one. Even my favorite Zelda game of all time, I've never beaten it, and that's A Link to the Past.
Oh,
it's a game that I will always go back to, and I'll always play. I actually have it on the Switch with the Nintendo Online service right now. But I've never actually beaten that game start to finish. But it is my favorite. It's probably like Link to the Past is probably a top 3 game for me all time, and I've never finished it. So yeah, that's my favorite Nintendo. And then there was one game I absolutely loved on the Super Nintendo called, I think it was called Sky Blazer. I think that was it, but that game was super fun. I loved it, and it was a Super Nintendo game.
Cool. Hazel?
I got to go with Mario and Pokemon also. I mean, nothing like Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars, and then Pokemon, Zelda. I mean, to me, I never played Wind Waker or Wind Walker, but I beat, what was it, Ocarina of Time. And I just remember thinking, like, this is the greatest game ever.
It's if you've listened to this show for any length of time, it's Donkey Kong. Always has been for me. I grew up on that game, and I still to this day love that game. My wife has a Switch now, and I'm going to be downloading that game and playing it again. So, all right, let's finish with this one. That's a good one to finish on. This is from Sweaty Spooks. Question for the show. PvP favorite exotic combo, in other words, armor and weapon, and the same for PvE. We'll go around the horn here. Favorite PvP exotic armor and weapon combo, and also for PvE.
Man. I don't really have one recent that I can think of, so I'm going to go with a combination of D1 and Vanilla D2. Maybe not Vanilla D2. I can't remember when this new subclass came out, but I will say D1 exotic weapon would be the Vex Mythoclast, because I fucking loved that gun in PvP. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And armor piece, I would go with the Shards of Galanor, because the Blade Barrage, when that first came out, that was super broken. And I completely get that goes against my entire stance of what I had originally talked about with PvP, with Destiny PvP, but Shards of Galanor was ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculously broken, and it was fun. I get it. It was genuinely fun.
Hazel?
I was just looking to see, and I mean, I really don't use a PvP build too much, but what I was tinkering around with actually before was Frosties and Monte Carlo.
Oh.
On a hunter.
Yeah.
And so it was basically like the wombo combo all the time. And it was fun to get hate mail. I haven't gotten that in a while, so I appreciate that.
Well, everyone probably knows my answer already. They don't have to guess, but if it's PvP, I am a Warlock main and I love to blink, so that means Astrocyte Verse Helmet, because I'll be able to have my radar up sooner while I'm blinking, so I'll be able to blink over shotgunners, and then I'll blast them with a Telesto. And when it comes to PvE, I have to go with Eye of Another World, because it gives such a boost to all your attributes, all your recharge rates on a lot of your things. I use that. I use the Telesto for crowd control. It works great. And combine that with Eye of Another World, you can't go wrong. But you could also use, I know Nazarek Sin. I know it's a big weapon that Mr. Jorts likes to use with Telesto or a Void Weapon. I could see that working good too, but yeah. Okay, if I had to pick other than Telesto, as far as an exotic weapon, I would have to say Crimson, if it's PvE, because it gives you life, and I've been in so many raids where getting that life back is so important, especially when you have to stand and wait and stay on stuff while you're getting attacked. Crimson saved my life so many times in raids, so that was mine. Well, hey everybody, great questions as usual. You guys never disappoint, and we're trying to spread it around, make sure we get some of our older questions too, and we appreciate everything you guys do, sending the questions in for the show. So if we didn't get to yours, don't worry. We got it nice and pinned, nice and neat in our channel here, and we will get to it in another show. So thank you for that. Well, that leaves one more thing to do, and Mr. Elmer Fudd, what do you got to say, bud?
Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast. Yeah. Guardian Downcast. This is an intro. Guardian Downcast. Guardian. Not copyright. Guardian Downcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final segment of our show. This is where we pick our songs for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. Just a little sample of what the two of us and our guest H here like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, and we're now on iTunes also. I'll always put the links in our show notes and our show description if you ever want to follow along and see what we add every week and listen. We have an enormous playlist now. 713 songs, 51 hours, and 10 minutes of music, representing all of us and all of our past guests. Over 100 episodes now. So, and sometimes I'll even post some videos of our picks in our music and TV channel. So look for those. So, Mr. AgentAech, we'll go to you first, sir. What'd you pick tonight and why?
Okay, so I went with two songs off of... Man, these are probably two of my favorite albums this year, to be honest with you. I know one of them for sure is my favorite. The other one is probably like tied for like second. But anyway, the first pick would be Cognitive Dissonance from Fear Factory. This album actually was written and recorded in 2017. This album took so long to come out because the band was going through a lot of legal battles with former members, current members. They finally got everything worked out. One original member finally got everything worked out and was able to release the music. It's unfortunate that the singer, the vocalist, is no longer involved in the band. So if you ever see Fear Factory live, you won't get to see Burton C. Bell, the longtime singer of Fear Factory, play any of these songs. But Fear Factory's been a favorite band of mine for a very long time. And this album was a long time coming, and it hasn't disappointed. And this is my favorite song from that album.
Very cool.
My second pick. Where did it go? Where did I find it?
It bounced around a little bit.
There it is. Second pick, again, another, probably my tied for second favorite album of this year so far, is Bury Me Whole by the Dead Poet Society. Again, we went back and forth today in the Discord about just kind of that blue, like that dirty rock or that heavy blues. And this band showed up on like just a random like Apple Music playlist. I was just playing I think I was playing like Black Keys Radio or Cleopatra. Cleopatra's another band that they released an album this year that I just absolutely love. And this band came on there and I loved the song. So I'm like, yeah, let me check these guys out. And their newest album was released this year. And every song on that album, I struggled. I mean, we went back and forth today and I struggled. I was like, I know I want to pick a song from this album. I just don't know which song because they're all so damn good. And this one kind of stuck with me. So yeah, Bury Me Whole by the Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, I listened to that song. It's really good. Really good song. Yeah. Cool deal. Thanks, man. Hazel, what do you got, man?
Yeah. So real quick, I just want to say, H, thank you so much for putting music in.
Yes.
Every couple days I just see like H's name pop up and he's like, I love this song. Check it out.
He's he's one of our music ambassadors.
Exactly. Him and Flip. And I know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but every time you guys add a song, it doesn't matter when you do it or anything else, I always listen to it.
Yeah.
Always. And I'm like, some of it, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But other times I'm like, oh, that just hits me like, right in my soul.
There's one thing about it's weird because I think I've only put one cover song. And all the times I've been on or contributed, I think I've only thrown one cover song. But one thing I really appreciate about music is a good cover song. And kind of my rules for a good cover song is that you put your own spin on it, but you keep it true to the original. And I don't know, man. Music is just something that is universal. It can speak to everybody. And it doesn't matter what genre you listen to, what style you listen to, whatever, but it can just the lyrics can just hit you in a certain way, or even the Dead Poet Society. A lot of this album, their lyrics really do not resonate with me at all. I was going through trying to pick a song, and I'm looking at the lyrics and I'm reading them, and I'm like, man, none of these resonate with me at all. But I love the sound, and I love what the passion that you could tell that their vocalist puts into it. And yeah, man, it's just one of those things that I think it speaks to. It's a universal language. It speaks to everybody.
I was laughing because my earbuds are usually turned up to 100, and every time I hit your sample where I hit it, it's usually blows my eardrums out because you guys will find out. Mr. AgentAech here likes heavy metal,
I love it,
really heavy stuff. And some of it I like, some of it I'm like, it's just a little too hard for me. But he's the one who turned me on to Devin Townsend, and I've never looked back. That man is a genius at music. His range is amazing. But
on that heavy metal front, another genre that I hold hold very near and dear to my heart is the blues.
Yeah.
And, I almost picked a straight, the new Black Keys album
Yeah.
that they just put out is
Yep.
100% a blues album, and it's probably one of the best blues albums you'll ever hear, and I fucking love every minute of it. And yeah, I mean, that's just another... I grew up with a very... my dad... I grew up listening to music with my dad. He would play records on his record player in the basement of my house. And, I mean, I grew up with everything from CCR to Pink Floyd to Rod Stewart to Tina Turner to Prince, the new Cactus Band, the Traveling Wilburys. I can go on and on. But my dad's music taste was very, very diverse, and he listened to a very big range of artists, and I took that from him. And it took me a long time. I remember as a kid, I used to listen to really, really heavy stuff. And then I went through a phase where I only listened to punk rock. And then it went back to really, really heavy stuff. But then it just, I don't know, man, something clicked. And my music taste just opened up. And if it's good, dude, I'll listen to it.
Yeah. I don't even care. Lyrics are secondary to me. It's all about the chorus, the rhythm of the song. I look at that first always. And then I go with... I always give a song a chance to get to the chorus before I decide whether I like it or not. So, yeah. Yeah, man, you put some awesome stuff in there. And I almost pick a Devin Townsend song in your honor tonight, but I have so many songs I want to add. So
I'm still sad that as much as it pains me, I'm still sad Kingdom's not on this playlist.
You had to do that to me, huh? You know what?
Called you out.
You know what? No.
There's always next. There's always next time.
No, you know what though?
I haven't added Devin Townsend yet either, and I fucking love Heavy Devi. So
we'll see what we can do. All right, Hazel, what do you got, buddy?
All right, so my first song is "Demons" by Haley Kiyoko, and this is actually from, I want to say, the 3rd episode of Loki. This is the intro song.
Really? I love that song.
There's just something about it where I was just I just love the sound, and I'm just all right, that
definitely
has to get added.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the rest of it, and I was just nice. I was this fits. I like it.
Nice.
And then my second song is a song I blatantly stole from Potato Thumbs and Fluffy Fingers MD. This was his song from last night and their show, because I've had this song on repeat pretty much all day today. And it's Ooh La La, featuring the Mexican Institute of Sound. And it's by Run the Jewels. And I just cannot stop listening to this. It has actually a little sample from a guy one guy from the band that I added way earlier about a retro, or not really retro, just an OG rap duo called Nice and Smooth. And it's Greg Nice, and he has a little sample on there, and it just all fits together perfectly.
Very cool, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then also one thing about it is that there's one part where they just start this other, the Santa Fe clan, they're part of this too, and they come in and they just start rapping in Spanish. And I don't know if I've ever said it on here or not, but I'm actually half Puerto Rican. So when I hear that, it just sounds like fire to me, and I'm just oh, it's beautiful.
Nice, man. Okay. I'm actually going to take a break from progressive metal and rock this week, Hazel.
Holy shit.
I know what's wrong with me. Maybe I got a fever or something. I'm picking some alt rock this week, and I've had these 2 songs on my list for a while now. My first pick, I went more, like I said, more alt rock. I got a little nostalgic, and being that I had these songs on my list for a while, I figured it was a time to add them. So my first group, they formed in Liverpool in 2003. It's another one of those groups that formed while attending a music school. They actually attended Liverpool Institute for the Performing Arts, to be accurate. Their following actually started in Japan, of all places, but it soon spread out to the rest of the world. And they have a very eclectic sound. Kind of reminds me of new wave 80s bands, to be honest. Lots of synthesizer, which, as most of you know, is my thing. But it has a modern twist to it. So my song pick is off their 2011 album, This Modern Glitch. And it's my favorite song from them. It's called Jump Into the Fog, which I get out of the song meaning to sometimes mix it up and shake life, make life interesting. You know, even if it means being a little sordid, going against the grain these days. It's from the group The Wombats. Great song, great group. For my second pick, I discovered this group a few years ago, and my wife and I both share a love for their music. It's a 2002 based, and okay, let me say this right, or not Arf's going to crucify me. It's Wilmslow, Cheshire, UK. This band played music together since they were 15 in secondary school, organized by a council worker. They actually gigged as teenagers, and like a teenage. Like a touring show of teenagers, and it was pretty cool. And they just honed their craft, and by 2013, they were off producing their first hit, and my song from them is off their third album, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships, and it's the song Love It If We Made It from the band The 1975, one of my favorites as well.
That's been on my list for a while.
You can take it off. You can take it off now. As requested, Mrs. Gator's chosen a song this week, and she picked Kingdom from Devin Townsend. I never knew she liked Devin Townsend, but thank you, babe.
I smell a lie.
I really appreciate that you picked Kingdom this week. I mean, it's ironic because
he doesn't even like him.
Mr. AgentAech just talked about Kingdom not being on the playlist. And being that Mrs. Gatr forgot to add a song this week, I'm going to add one for her. So there we go. And Zan, actually, I heard from him today. Awesome hearing from Mr. Xanafan711. He had a song for us this week. And he chose a song called Colibri. And it's by Their Dogs Were Astronauts is the group. I have a feeling that's a punk band. I just have a feeling. Anyway, guys, that's another show. Another one in the bag. We have 100 other episodes for all you out there that are just finding out about us. So check those out. And something we're kind of doing on Twitter now is we're actually putting a little sound clips out there of some of our past guests. And then kind of letting them know where they can know about them. And this week it was Mr. Patty Cakes. So check that out. We have a lot of past episodes with a lot of great interviews. And we invite you to go back into our back catalog and listen to some of those great interviews, and we'll share some more in the future and go from there. And, do us a favor. I really don't promote this podcast much, and spread the word out there. If you like what you're listening to tonight, you kind of like our take on music and on interviewing guests and our views on Destiny, do us a favor. Spread the word. Let other people know about it. We try to put a little a lighter take on Destiny, and hopefully that's something you guys like to enjoy to listen to. Well, Mr. AgentAech, we appreciate you coming on tonight, man.
Yeah.
And is there any shout-outs you want to give out, or any places people can reach you out there in the social media world?
I mean, AgentAech on I don't use Twitter a lot, but I'm on there. AgentAech on Instagram, I'm on there quite a bit. If you want to see how much I actually ride my bike and play disc golf, you can find me on Instagram. I've dabbled into. I want to get back into making YouTube videos, whether it's gaming, disc golf, or even a little cycling. I'm there too.
Nice.
And then I do have a podcast that we record, not regularly, but whenever we can all get together, because there is a bunch of us, and that is Real Geniuses. It's a movie podcast about movies that we love.
Great show.
And yeah, it's just fun when we can get together. But I mean, we're all dads. We all live busy lives, and there are 6 of us. So it's tough to get together, but that's Real Geniuses spelled like a movie, real REEL. Other than that, just find me on Instagram and
find him in our Discord.
And,
he's in our Discord all the time.
Find me in the Discord, man. I'm there and hanging out usually and posting random songs. And I guess since your wife picked Kingdom, that means I'm gonna have to pick March of the Poozers next time I'm on.
Ooh, great song. I like that one too. I've listened to every album and every song. First thing I did was download every one of their albums. It's great. He's all over the place. I love it. Hey, Hazel, where can people find you, sir?
Quick and easy. Hazel NT, anywhere and everywhere.
You almost messed that up.
Almost.
You can contact me via Twitter at Todd the Gatr. Remember, that's Gatr. You can also find me on Steam and PS4, Gatr, all caps, underscores in between. And I'm on YouTube, Gatr-Guardian Downcast, where we also post episodes now every week. So check that out. You can find our podcast on whatever podcast catcher you use, or just go to guardiandowncast.com. You can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast for show questions or whatever you guys want to talk to us about, and our DMs are open. So let us know. We have a great bunch of gamers in our Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I always post a link in our show notes and description if you want to join the conversation, and it is lively. It's a lot of good mornings, and everyone's day kind of goes along, and we all discuss things, whether it's Destiny or real life, or that thing that one of our guys smoked over the weekend. I'm talking food and things like that.
I was gonna say, where are you going?
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering too.
This is what happens. We get toward the end of the episode, and I get spacey. It's crazy. I got it all in front of me here, but I can't seem to read this time of night.
Occasionally, you see a meme that says "Attention putos, it's Friday."
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's glorious.
And we shout out the happy birthdays in there too. We have a great Discord. So check us out and hit that link if you want to jump in, and we'll all welcome you with open arms and happy that you joined our big family. So cool deal.
Yeah. Now let's cut Gatr off before he starts giving his address out like Admiral Nips.
You know what? You know what's going to cut me off is Mr. Scumdeath in a Scumdeath's corner.
Hello. Scumdeath here. I've just come home after watching the football with my brother, and I've come home. I was going to put some Destiny on, even though I might moan about it in Scumdeath's corner. But I was going to put some Destiny on, and my portable TV has disappeared from where I usually keep it. So I thought, all right, maybe Caden, the missus's son, has nicked it. So I thought, right, I'll grab my Switch. I'll play something on the Switch. My Switch isn't here either. So I can't go up in his room because he might have his girlfriend up there. He's 15 now, so you don't want to be going into a 15-year-old bedroom, do you? Knocking on the door, so you never know what's going on. So, yeah, I can't play Destiny. I can't play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I can't play Apex Legends on my Switch. All I can do is speak to you lot. This has pissed me off. I don't know what to do. I can't play any games. Right, I might have to play PUBG on my phone and then go to bed. It's 12 o'clock at night, so yeah, I should probably go to bed. Oh, you bastards. Anyway, love you all. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Scumdeath. I love this guy. This guy's a trip. You're going to learn, guys, as your kids get older, they just start getting very sticky hands and they just take all your stuff. And when it's time to play games, it's like, where is my stuff?
What's a portable TV?
Oh, you know, portable TV?
Portable TV.
Yeah, I used to have one. It was black and white at the time, but yeah, they have handles on them. You can you can actually use them with batteries. I wouldn't suggest putting a bunch of Ds in a TV, but he probably uses it as a monitor, I imagine. So, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Scumdeath. We love you, brother.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
It sure is. It sure is. And he did send one more message for me last week, and I'll put it in the outtakes at the end of the show. Take care of one another and be safe, everybody.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Bottles.
It's Saturday. Hi, Nessie's mom.
I was at my
He's going to
dad's.
show you his backyard and go like, yeah.
No,
look,
no,
there you
no,
go.
no. I went to my parents' yard. I went to my parents' house for Father's Day, and I'll show you I'll show you the video I got. This little guy right here was about a 10-footer. Oh, I don't want to delete it. I want to share it. I'm gonna put it in the. Nope. I want to put it.
If you hold your phone close enough to the computer screen, Todd, it'll airdrop it to me.
I don't think so. I don't think I'll do that.
You press Alt F4.
This doesn't have. There's no Alt F4 on this phone, dude.
No, it's perfect. We can have tornadoes anytime, dude. It's Kansas.
Shit.
Yeah, that sold me on not moving to Kansas, by the way.
No, it's not that bad.
Come to Florida. Just watch those hurricanes.
Yeah, what's
I think
it's like a tornado. It's like
hurricane.
Well, it's like a tornado that lasts
It's
for
on
3 days.
steroids.
It lasts for 3 days.
the thing that gets me about hurricanes is you can see them coming, right? Like you have
Yes.
days to
Yeah.
prepare
Yeah.
or weeks, whatever.
Tornadoes scare the
And
hell out of
then,
me.
and then so it's like, do we leave? Do we not leave? Do we put the boards up on the windows?
Mhm.
That was the weirdest thing about visiting Florida to me, was one of the Airbnbs that we stayed at had pre-cut sheets of plywood
That's in every house, by
that
the
was labeled front door,
Mhm.
dining room window, and then you could see holes drilled
Oh,
around the frame.
It's usually,
And I was like-
yeah. Sometimes they'll leave studs in there where all they have to do is just, it's a threaded rod coming out of the house. You put
Yeah.
literally line up the holes in the boards and just zip, zip.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what this guy had at the Airbnb. So I don't know what would be worse, is having to prepare for that or not being able to prepare for a tornado because they just happen.
See, what scares the hell out of me, we'll have tornado warnings sometimes at night, and you don't know what's going to hit you or not. They don't tell you. I mean, you'll get a little siren on your phone saying tornado warning, and then you look on the radar and you're like, well, maybe. And then you basically just have to just say, well, if it hits our house, if we're that unlucky, then I guess
I mean,
the bathtub is on
Kansas?
the other side of my wall right here. So,
sounds like my summer.
dude, that's just crazy.
It's
Tornadoes,
weird, dude. They're wild. It's been a long time. I remember seeing one as a kid, and it was one of the coolest and scariest things I've ever seen. But it was right past. There's like the house I grew up in. There was a drainage ditch right behind the house, and then you could see the highway from there.
Mhm.
But and it really wasn't that far. I mean, it's within eye shot. But I'm standing in my backyard, and there's a semi parked on the highway, and the tornado like just picks it up and drops it on its top, like no problem.
No, you hear about the F5s, the big 1 mile wide ones. Do you get those very often, or is it mainly F1s and F2s?
There was one, I believe it was an F5 that hit Greensburg. I mean, and that's been over a decade.
Oh.
But that wiped that town off the planet.
10 years.
It's-
That's a long time.
I mean,
Jesus.
dude, that town is 30 minutes from here.
Oof.
And I remember driving through, so my hometown is 2 hours west of here,
Mhm.
and Greensburg is in between. And that was when President George Bush was the president then, and he went to Greensburg, Kansas after that tornado hit. And so I drove through the day they opened it back up, because they detoured around that town for a long time.
Mhm.
And when I drove through, I mean, it was nothing. It was
Jeez.
just gone. It was so crazy.
How do people survive
And
that?
I mean, they're fine now. I don't know that there was a lot of deaths in that, but it destroyed almost every home in the town.
How do you get a tornado a mile wide? How do people not die? Do people just get enough notice where they just get the hell out of there?
Yeah, I'm
You
not
hope.
sure. I don't know that they had much notice, to be honest with you, because the same thing happened in Joplin, Missouri. I think that was another F5.
Man, I can't imagine that. That's hell on
Yeah, it
earth.
was wild.
That is hell on earth. Damage
I
over
think
time
we'll
is
get
fun.
something.
Damage over time, I
I
have
think
no
we'll get
problem
like
with.
a poison,
Okay.
like a
Can
what do they
we
call it?
clip that?
Poison or decay.
Clip it all you
I'm
want.
recording this.
You're
So I'm
recording.
going to clip this.
Clip it. I dare you.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Okay.
Clip it. I double dog dare you.
Damage over time is fine. Did you hear that?
Damage
everybody?
over time. Hey, I don't. I
That
use a
means he
thorn.
is not going to bitch about this.
I didn't say that. I didn't promise you that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gatr. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, mate. Have a great one, mate. Love you and your fam and everybody else.